Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Weekend Warriors Australian Stock Car Championship as we run our Memorial Day Charlotte race. And we're right here, of course, at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And, well, we've got a couple of other people here at the moment. Of course, Matt Hunter pushing the buttons for us tonight. Thanks very much for doing this for us, Matt.
No worries. Pleasure to be here.
And also in the car at the moment is Mark the Swede Johansson. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Back for another round at Charlotte. I think everyone will be almost over it by the end of tonight.
Yeah, it's been a long week of Charlotte, isn't it? Yes, we had a big night Thursday night with the Autocare Cup, 200 laps. And that was a bit of an epic, that one. But we've got a lot of action here tonight. And as I just push some more controls here to see what we've got. Okay, 267 laps tonight, folks. 400 miles. So this is basically just a cut-down version of the Coca-Cola 600. Around the 1.5 mile track, which is also 2.4 kilometres on the tri-oval. 25% of the race is required for the drivers to hit lap 66 to be classed as a finisher, so they collect points tonight in the championship. Remembering this is a championship round. Our fuel set is 100%. That's what it's set at. 20 gallons of load. Off the top of my head, I can't tell you exactly what that is in
75 litres.
But it's 75 litres, I'm told. Yep, okay. Now, our pit lane speed here is 45, so it could catch a few people out. It's very easy to do. It's one of those tracks where it's got a low pit speed limit, and it's easy to crack over 45. And depending on what sort of a mood iRacing's in, it'll get you for being 1 over or 5 over. Now, the pace car speed is 55 miles an hour, and after the pace car pulls off, that is the speed that is expected to be set and held by the lead vehicle as he controls the field until they go. And starts are on the green, restarts are on the leader, and which means that it may not necessarily see them wait for it to go green. You may anticipate the green, drop the hammer and go for it, which means the others will need to anticipate that and keep up with him. They've got 5 sets of tyres tonight, no fast repairs. 3 to 5 pit stops are what's expected. And the air temp's 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind from the northwest at 5 miles per hour on a partly cloudy night. Humidity at 46%. Track temperature is set at 77 degrees Fahrenheit. And last year's winner for this event, Stephen Williams in the number 98 car. And I believe he's here again tonight. So if he is, hopefully we'll get to see him shine. Try and defend his title here for this race. Now, the lap record belongs to Josh Micklemore, and the lap time for that is 30.194 seconds, a blistering lap around Charlotte, 30.194. So we'll see if anybody can actually knock that over, and we'll see how that goes tonight. We are in qualifying, of course, as we see Ruben Phelps, and he's actually topping the table there at 30.060, and keeping in mind that is a race lap, that record, so that qualifying time doesn't necessarily actually knock it off or anything like that. So that doesn't affect that standing record by Josh Micklemore. That's a race record, I believe. Michael Skurlock's sitting second at the moment, 30.118. Wayne Van Billion, 30.172. Yeah, they're pretty close there. Paul Drady on a 30.2, sitting currently in 5th place. And what have we got? Well, we're just about to run out. Qualifying almost over. 5-minute session, 2 laps, 2 flying laps. That's all they get. And it is a closed session, so only 1 car on track, so there's no drafting or anything that affects the qualifying times. And we've got a pretty healthy field there tonight. And what are we looking at? 32 cars, I believe. We've got 32 starters. Some of those guys have opted to not register a time. So therefore what will happen is that they will just start at the back, and we've got around about 7 or so of those guys, 7 or 8 of those will start at the back, and you can expect to see them work their way through. Those guys are Edward Foster, Darren Mckenzie, Matthew Raymond, Kobe Jordan, Andy Barber, Aidan Schultz, Matt Hunter. Oh, sorry, that's
it won't be me.
Matty on the control.
Yeah,
he won't be pushing his way through the field.
Unfortunately, I joined incorrectly, so yeah, it'll show me up.
You tricked me on that one, mate.
Right.
Brett Campbell's back there as well with Noddy Tompkins. So the boys are grinning up at the moment, and we'll see how they go. How's it feel in the car down there, Mark?
Yeah, it's pretty good at the moment. It's typical Charlotte though. It'll catch you out as soon as you shut down a little bit. So you've definitely got to make sure you stay on it all the time. So
What's your plan for the first couple of laps out there, mate?
Stay out of trouble.
Just keep in mind you can get that thing up to temperature. Next gen cars, give it a couple of laps before you start to go ballistic.
It doesn't seem to be too bad here tonight. I don't know what it is. You can kind of sort of get on it straight away, but I'm still not trusting it.
Oh, well, we'll see how it goes, mate. Just try and keep it clean, keep it out of trouble, and we'll see how it goes. But, I mean, you never know what's going to go on around you, and that's always a big factor in these races. I'm always making a comment on my live streams. It's not my driving I've got to worry about what's going on around me. Because, it doesn't matter what you do, you've got you've got all sorts of things happening around you. As we take a look at the grid scrolling along the bottom of the screen, thanks to Matt Hunter there, as we take a look at a couple of these guys. We won't go through the entire grid, as we probably don't have time, but just pointing out Norman Clark there starting from 8th position. Keep an eye on Norman throughout this. 267 laps should suit him right down to the ground. Saw him start 28th the other night in a 200-lap race, and he finished 6th. So, keep an eye on him. Plenty of other guys there to look out for. Young Nathan Button there in the 167 car, starting from 17th. And he's actually picked up some good finishes lately, including Thursday night in the ANSCAR Cup. And Adam Malone as well, who did an incredible job with his fuel and tyre stints on Thursday night. So we'll see how he goes here tonight. Andy Barber there, starting from 28th in the 05 car. And Aidan Schultz in the number 52. Keep an eye on Aidan. He was doing very well the other night, keeping his head down until he had a little bit of an incident about 2/3 of the way through, and it just completely ruined the rest of his race. And we've got them all lined up behind the pace car at the moment. Their entire field of 32 cars is all there. As you see, Ruben Phelps and Michael Skurlock starting off the front row. You've got Andrew Dyson, who miraculously brought it home for a 6th place after a major incident on Thursday night in the ANSCAR Cup, and put that car in the top 5 across the line. Plenty of other guys there that are going to challenge this, but as I said, there's a lot of big names supposedly starting towards the back because they didn't register a time. Pace car is off. It's down the pit road. And the boys are going to come around, and we'll see what Ruben Phelps does. What sort of a start is he going to get? And we've got green, 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 and away they go. Ruben's put the hammer down, open up about a car length and a half over Michael Skurlock, and Skurlock's not letting him get away. And we've got a couple of the other guys there as well, as we've got, I think that's Billion there. Billion sitting in 3rd place right in front of Andrew Dyson.
Yeah, it looks like Dyson's having a little bit of a look out the inside now.
Yeah, sorry, mate. Just ran out of breath there for a minute.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just trying to make sure.
I'm used to there being somebody else there to feed off and pick up the slack when I go quiet, but it's all right. But,
we've got trying to make up for these technical issues and get stuff going, and get the cameras all sort of working properly, and jump in when we can.
Number one job there is pushing the buttons and making sure we've got these great pictures that you're providing at the moment. As Ruben Phelps continues to lead this. Followed by Michael Skurlock and Wayne von Billion. As I see some other names popping up through the field like Nankervis, Stuart Patterson is in there, Brad Fenley. These guys very early, 267 laps around here, 400 miles. So anybody who thinks that they're going to try and win this in the first 10 or 20 laps, is going to come unstuck. There's just no two ways about it. As the boys continue to push pretty hard down through there, and Dyson's actually making a move on Van Billion, and he's taking, he's trying to take third place off him, and I think he's got his nose in front, so that's pretty good stuff there from him. As we take a look at the 189 car, I think it is, who's also making a move there, and 189
Toby Stent
is Toby Stent. Sorry, yeah, I saw the number, I couldn't see the name. So Toby Stent making a move.
A few Sim Blacks cars there. I think they obviously must be teammates, and I think they might be a sort of a New Zealand-based team. I think.
Yes, Sim Blacks is. There's obviously two of those there. One of them bounces off the wall. Oh yes, number 20, who's actually I think that is
De Graaf.
Dion De Graaf. Yep.
Cool.
All right. I'll just keep referring to me list here, and I'll get it.
Caution's out.
Not familiar with some of these guys, but we are under caution. Well, especially the Sim Blacks guys. I haven't seen them run very much.
No, I think they're a base of on the New Zealand League. I know that I'm hoping to have a bit of a run with them soon.
Goodness me, that's Darren Mckenzie into the wall.
That looks
big
like
time.
A big snap, or
I don't know whether he's done that on his own or whether he's gotten a bit of a tap, but he's.
Oh yeah. He's
all on his own. He's just simply gotten loose on the high line, and then she's got a bit of a rear wiggle up, and she's wandered up top, and he's just clouded that wall nose on, and done a fair bit of damage, and then it seems to have repaired itself. So we'll see what happens. But the car looks fairly well together at the moment. After initially seeing no bonnet, no nose on it. Darren will have more of an idea of what's going on, the way that car feels, and undoubtedly that pit will open in a moment. We'll see Darren pull in, and with no fast repair, it's going to be interesting to see what sort of damage he's carrying and how long he sits in the pits there, Matt.
Yeah, that's a pretty big hit and straight on. Obviously, yeah, the bumper and the bonnet disappeared, but then came back, so it'll be interesting to see how much damage he's got there on that. But that car won't handle the same for the rest of the night, unfortunately.
In fact, if he's got any kind of engine damage whatsoever, then that's going to affect his top end speed, and he just won't be competitive if that's the case. And looking at the way the front of that's crunched in around the grill area, around the front bar and the air dam, that's pretty flat.
Yeah, he'll probably have cooling issues on that engine as well. So
he'll have. In fact, I'd say the first voice he heard was the spotter letting him know that he's leaking fluid and leaving debris on the track. That would be my guess, which is always a bad sign. And he may even have been told that he's got problems with the engine. So if that's the case, then I'd say Darren Mckenzie will park it, but only time will tell. If he's lucky enough to get out of it with only a few minutes damage, we may see him rejoin. It's a very long race, as we're on lap 7 of 267. So 260 laps remaining on our first caution period. And there's somebody who would have been pretty happy to miss that and get around it. And that's Aidan Schultz there in the number 52 car.
Yeah, it looks like not many takers to pit road. Obviously, long race, limited set of tyres, so way too early to come in and grab a set of tyres. So I think we've had, judging by the numbers of the pits on the pit stop times, we've had probably about 4 or 5 cars come in and just top up with fuel really, and they'll give them another 7 laps to go longer, and yeah, working backwards from the end.
I think it's spot on there. Most guys have gone, well, there's only 7 laps in. I mean, that's my usual take on it. If there's an early pit stop in the first, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 laps, I'd sort of look at it and go, well, I've got lots of fuel, I've got fresh tyres, I don't need to pit, so I stay out. And times like that, if you get half the field jump in for fuel, all of a sudden you move up a lot of spots unless you're already towards the pointy end. But it's always a good place to make up spots, but then you put the pressure on yourself by being at the front or on the front few rows, and you've got the entire field bearing down on your neck, and you've got to get that start right. You've got to, no bogging down, no holding anybody up, causing issues, and also not spinning the tyres, and especially on these things where they've only had 6 or so laps to actually run and get temperature into them. Then all of a sudden we do a couple of laps behind the pace car and things start to cool down again. And as we've discussed lots of times before, these cars are temperature dependent, and they're very sensitive to the change. So it's going to be interesting to see how we get out of this. I'm still showing, what have we got? Reuben Phelps in first, Michael Skurlock second, Andrew Dyson sitting in third. Yes, that's exactly who we've got there, sitting behind the pace car. So fourth place, it will be Wayne Van Billion and Toby Stent, Paul Ardrady, Mark Smith, Brad Allison up to 8th place, Norman Clark 9th, and Stephen Williams rounds out the top 10. So that's where we sit at the moment on our first caution period, Matt.
Yeah, pretty subdued start to the race for the majority of people. I think they all realise that it is a very long race and you're going to have to make those tyres last. 5 sets of tyres, possibly 40 to 50 laps.
The strange thing out of that is that to see somebody as experienced as Darren Mckenzie actually get loose like that, it was a bit surprising.
Just goes to show it can happen to anyone. Yeah, no, I know Darren's definitely a very strong, experienced driver, and looks like it just got loose off that turn 4, and it can just catch anybody out. So it doesn't matter how experienced you are. It can happen to everyone.
I've seen some very experienced guys actually spin the tyres off the start in the old Gen 6 car. You're leading off a restart, they spin the tyres sideways, nose it into the wall. It can happen to anybody, just trying too hard or just that little momentary sort of a brain lapse and you give it too much off the start. But hopefully these guys will actually have their act together. We've still got one of those Simblacks cars, I think it's the number 20, and that's sitting up there in the front 3 rows. So going over it once again, we've got Phelps first, then Skurlock, Dyson, Van Billion, and as we move back through the field, lights are out on the pace car. I think it's going to pull in. There it goes. So we're not going to worry about who else is behind that at the moment as we're about to go green. And they've gone green. He's dropped the hammer. He's not waiting at all. Reuben Phelps absolutely blasts away, but Skurlock anticipated that, and so did Van Billion. So they've gone with him as we see the entire field run through. As they come around there, they've basically gone single file for the first 5, 6, 7, 8 cars. And there we go. We've got... was that Jamie Nankervis there as well?
I think it's Brad Allison. Do you mean up in 6th spot there with the custom diecast car?
Yes, it is. Yep. Actually, it was Brad Allison, the 03. I thought it was a 08, which is usually Jamie Nankervis' number, but he's actually back in the field a bit further back in 17th. Which is actually team cars. So I got a bit confused with the 03 and the 08, but that's fine. We'll move on from there as we take a look at the 07 car. Having a good run around there at the moment. And that's Mark Smith.
Yeah, having good starts to the race. Passing a few cars.
And if we actually take a look from that, say, 6th position back, you've got Brad Allison, Mark Smith, Toby Stent, Gary Wellman, Stephen Williams. That's the end of your top 10. Beyond that, though, if you're looking for any of the other drivers, Norman Clark sitting in 11th, Karl Nedler, Brenton Henderson, Billy Hickey in 14th, Adam Malone 15th, Nathan Button 16th, Jamie Nankervis 17th, Stuart Patterson 18th, Edward Foster from the rear of field with not registering a qualifying time is up to 19th. Justin Allen on 20th. Then we've got Mark the Swede Johansson. Mark Joe is actually sitting 22nd at the moment, and we'll have a word with him later on. Dion de Graaf 23rd, Brad Fenley 24th. Aidan Schultz back in 25th at the moment. Thought he would have actually been further up than that. But he also may have been one of the couple of cars that did pop in and top the fuel up.
He was, yeah.
He's back there.
I think he was one of the first ones that popped in to grab fuel, and he might be just sort of taking it easy now, saving his tyres as well.
That's it, yeah. He saved his tyres, topped the fuel up. It's a very long way to go, and Aidan will probably drive the same way he did the other night, and that was working for him until he had a bit of a whoopsie and got loose in the later stages. Matt Raymond's sitting 26th at the moment, Andy Barber 27th, Kobe Jordan 28th, Brett Campbell 29th in the 015 car, and then Noddy Tompkins, and Darren Mckenzie 9 laps down. I'd say Darren's day is done.
Yeah, he might look to get back out later and pick up some points if there's a few cars wrecked out.
Well, considering it's a championship round, yeah, I mean, he's got to do at least 25%, so he's got to do 66 laps.
Yeah, that's right.
Before he can actually collect those points. So he'll probably sit there and let the car repair itself as long as possible, knowing that if he's only got to do 66 laps, he can come out any time, run the 66 or 70 laps, and then put it away again if it's really a problem, and he'll still score some points towards the championship. So we'll wait and see what Darren decides to do, and if he actually decides to come out at all, he may even just decide to wash it off. I don't know. We'll wait and see on that one.
Yeah, he might be jump in and help his teammates out with a bit of spotting and strategy calling as well.
Well, there's every chance that'll happen. He's part of the Southern Stars racing team, and that also includes Adam Malone, Andy Barber, Aidan Schultz, and a couple of other guys as well, I believe. It's about a 5 or 6 car team, but I don't know how many of them are actually in tonight. I think it's only about 4. So if we take a look at the positions, Skurlock's taken first place and opened up a gap over Ruben Phelps. And then behind Ruben in third place is Andrew Dyson. Behind Dyson, we've actually got...
Brad Allison?
Brad Allison's moved up there. I was thinking it was Wayne Von Billion, but Brad's actually taken 4th place away from Wayne Von Billion. And Gary Wellman in 6th, Mark Smith 7th, Toby Stan 8th, Paul Drady 9th, and Karl Nedler just popping along doing what he has to do there, holding down 10th spot so far in this one. And we are on lap 18 of 267, and we've had one caution period so far where Darren Mckenzie got loose and put it into the wall, managed to avoid involving anybody else in that, and he did do it all on his own. Just got a bit loose up on the high line, down onto the bottom line, tried to catch it. The rear came around and he nosed it straight up into the wall. So he's actually still sitting in the pits at the moment. We'll just wait and see what Darren wants to do as far as rejoining the race is concerned later on.
So according to Ryan Barber in the chat, when the caution was out, Darren had 40 minutes plus of repairs. So he's going to be there for a while.
Well, it's also engine damage, which means that when he comes out, he's going to probably be about 15 mile per hour down on top speed. That'll make him difficult to keep up with anybody, especially if it's cars in front of him that have got the draft. When he gets in, if he can get in the draft behind a pack or at the back of a pack, then he could probably keep up with them fairly well. But the car won't have enough speed on it to catch anybody. That's going to be his problem.
You're literally in that situation. You'll be just racing guys who've already crashed out and left the server.
Well, the best thing to do in that instance is then wait for a pack to pass you, drop on the end of it. If it puts you another lap down, so be it. But if you're actually on the back of that pack, you can at least then try and keep up with the draft. But it depends how much it's actually affected by that damage. I mean, 40 minutes of damage is definitely an engine problem. So we'll just have to wait and see what he does and what he decides to do with that. He's probably gone off to make himself a cuppa and watch a bit of TV or watch the race or whatever. So if you're actually watching, Darren, good day to you. And what a shame, mate. It's a shame to see you out like that so early, but it's the way it goes, unfortunately. As we continue to keep an eye on this front three, Skurlock, Phelps and Dyson. And Skurlock's got a reasonable lead. I think he's still got a bit of a gap out there. Yeah, it's about 4 or 5 car lengths to Ruben Phelps, and he's got Dyson all over the back of him.
He does, yeah. He's about a half a second, or it's coming down now, though. Ruben's just put on a pretty good lap there and gained a little bit of time back, but they seem to be pretty settled in that top 10 now. Settling in and just logging laps.
Yeah, they seem to have settled in fairly early. In fact, I'm actually pretty impressed with the way the entire field's driving at the moment. I'd say a lot of people learned a lot of things out of the ANSCAR Cup on Thursday night because the first 100 laps of that was quite messy. We had several yellow periods, and at the moment, people appear to have actually sort of accepted the fact that it's a very long race and there's a long way to go, and trying to push to win the thing or put yourself in the top 5 or the top 10 now, is just not really going to benefit you later necessarily, because anything can happen in the next 242 laps as we hit lap 25 of 267, and this is the ASCC Weekend Warriors Memorial Day Cup, brought to you by Custom Paints and Diecasts at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And we are streaming through Performance E streaming on YouTube.
We are just filling in tonight. Myself filling in. Karl's very sick. Hoping he gets better soon.
Yep, and there's also the usual broadcaster for this event actually having some technical issues. So
yeah, his PC, I believe, might be a bit sick. So hope his PC gets well soon too.
Yes, so that of course is JP's Sim Shed Broadcasting, and he normally does this, and Karl normally commentates it, but Karl's laid up with a medical issue at the moment and trying to get that sorted out. So Steve Hoppett here with you with Matt Hunter, and we'll try and do the best we can to try and keep you entertained tonight as we watch a couple of guys. Well,
Brad Allison is way off the pace.
Figure out what's going on there. It's just, he's just hemorrhaging positions.
He's dropping out from basically top 5, and he's now down to 20th. He's noticeably slower than anybody else.
That's just incredibly.
That's weird.
Yeah, he's back to 14th at the moment, and he was sitting 3rd or 4th at the time, and he's just suddenly like I say, just hemorrhaged positions. I mean, half the field's just about gone past him.
And he hasn't gone into the pits at all, so he's either having some equipment issues, or he's purposely maybe driving to a fuel number, or
I know Brad's been having some issues with the internet on and off, and in fact on Thursday night I watched his live stream from his cockpit, and he had a couple of instances where the entire field just disappeared on him.
He might be feeling that
a few seconds later. So if that's what's happened and he's sitting 3rd or 4th, the first thing on his mind is going to be, oh shit, or pardon me, first thing on his mind is going to be that he needs to sort of be careful with that, because you don't want to be in that position and suddenly you can't see anybody because you've got 30 odd cars bearing down on you and nobody can see you and you can't see them. So that would probably explain what's going on. If that's happened to him, we'll see him pick the pace up again, but that's not a good thing for Brad.
No, like pace-wise, he was about 3.5 seconds a lap off. He's picked it up again now. He's back up to a 32. So I'd say the cars have all reappeared on him, so he's put the foot down again. Which is pretty much what he did the other night. He just simply backed off, announced to everybody, that they'd all disappeared off him, and a few seconds later they came back, so he put the foot down again. But it's a frightening thing that startles you when it happens. And of course, having that issue randomly happening, it's one thing to have internet issues, but if you're in the middle of a race like this, that's really scary, because you don't know what's going to happen, and you ruin your race and everybody else's if the wrong thing happens. Yeah, you feel that when I have those sort of issues, take out a whole field this early in a long race as well.
So just watching him at the moment, running around in 14th place there, I think, and he's actually.
He's 28th now, yeah.
Back to 28th now, is he? Oh,
yep.
Okay. Oh, gee, that's hurting. So he's actually running around behind Brett Campbell now in the 015 car. So 28th there, 27th for Brett Campbell. So he's got some making up to do, but still on the lead lap. The only person we've actually lost or has gone off the lead lap to this point is poor old Darren Mckenzie, who got a bit loose on about lap 6. And as he tried to catch it, it ricocheted and speared around the opposite direction and nosed into the wall and destroyed the car. And he had 40 minutes worth of damage to repair. As far as we know, he's still sitting in the pits and repairing that damage so he can come back out and pick up whatever points he can in the championship, since this is a round of the championship, not a one-off race. We are at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Memorial Day Cup with the Australian Stock Car Championship Weekend Warriors, brought to you by Custom Paints and Diecasts on the Performance E streaming network tonight. Got Steve Hoppett on the mic and Matt Hunter running things in the production booth.
Hello. Seeing
we'll see.
pretty spread out field at the moment. Just trying to look on the track for some battles.
Very surprised at how spread out they are at the moment, Matt, actually, yeah. You normally see this when it's a lot later in the race, but we haven't had a caution in about, coming up on 30 laps now. So we've had pretty much about 28 laps green. So the boys have sort of settled into a bit of a groove and a bit of a rhythm. As we see Edward Foster and Norman Clark, they're teammates and running side by side. And behind them, the number 20 car from Sim Black, New Zealand. And those guys are actually sitting probably about midfield at the moment.
Slowly picking their way through the field. Dion, the car number 20, was one of the cars that came in and got a top up for fuel and got his damage fixed from the contact to the wall.
Edward 12th, Dion de Graaf in the number 20 car 13th, and Norman Clark 14th. And we got Nathan Button 15th, so he's sitting pretty sweet there at the moment. He actually brought that car home pretty well the other night in the Anscar Cup, and I've seen him have a couple of really good finishes and take advantage of situations where other people who you would normally expect to be at the front have just had a run of bad luck or made a boo-boo somewhere along the line, and Nathan's just had himself placed to take advantage of it. So we'll wait to see what Nathan can do with that, because as I said, he's sitting around about 15th at the moment, so we'll see how he goes. There's Aidan Schultz, number 52 for the Southern Stars team, actually. And Aidan is actually sitting 17th there at the moment.
Yep.
Yep, 17th. Fast lap of 30.5. His last lap of 31.3, so that's back off the pace a bit. But he was back as far as 29th and up as far as 17th, which is where he sits at the moment. And he's already made a pit stop, which we're aware of. He took advantage of that yellow flag caution earlier on. But Skurlock continues to lead this in first, with Ruben Phelps second and Andrew Dyson in third place. Andrew will be looking for some retribution after he was sitting pretty in third, actually battling on Thursday night for third place in the closing laps, and came together with the other car that was Justin Witcher, and didn't do either of them much good, but he managed to pull it across the line in 6th or 7th place. But there we go. We've got the summary for Ruben Phelps and Andrew Dyson there at the moment. So that's who we've got sitting second and third, as they actually... who are they passing? 550 will be...
Tristan, I believe.
I've just gone completely blank on that, sorry.
Yeah, Tristan Gotch.
Tristan Gotch, yeah, that's right, Tristo. Tristo's going a lap down at the moment, which is a bit unfortunate.
Seems to be struggling a little bit.
But a bit of a lack of pace there. I don't know what might have actually happened to Tristo, but that's where he is there at the moment. He's just gone a lap down. The leaders have just put that lap on him. Doesn't appear to have a lot of pace in that car. That's Dyson in third place coming up on him at the moment. And it doesn't seem like he's having to try too hard. Tristo, I don't know whether Tristo had a bit of a bump against the wall or something and cost him a bit of speed. I'm not quite sure, but...
No, I think he might be just like what I was on the Thunder race on last Wednesday night. I just had no speed here. Just couldn't work it out.
Yeah, well, I was the same in the Thunder race on Wednesday night and 2 nights ago, and I didn't actually get very far. I clouded it off the wall about every second lap and decided enough's enough.
I get my car straight. I just didn't have any speed.
Yeah, well, I felt the same. Honestly, I did, because I started ahead of a bunch of guys, and before I knew it, I was sitting behind them. And then started to clout the wall about every second or third lap, so I decided to pit and give up on it. I mean, I was pretty tired, and I was really only there to actually test out some new hardware, graphics card, and that sort of stuff. So I just expected to run around towards the back there for a while and have a bit of a run, and obviously it was just, not quite up to the task, so I pulled the pin. Last thing I wanted to do was get in the way of those guys while they were barreling around the track.
That's all right. I ran the whole race, and I wasn't up to the task either.
Okay, so as we actually take a look through the field a bit, we got Michael Skurlock still leading this from Reuben Phelps, Andrew Dyson, Gary Wellman in fourth, Mark Smith back in fifth now, Wayne Von Billion, Paul R. Drady, Toby Stent in eighth place, Karl Nedler in ninth, Stephen Williams 10th place, Edward Foster knocking on the door of a top 10 there at the moment, sitting in 11th, Dion de Graaf in 12th, Adam Malone, who's sitting there in 13th place. He's nicely placed to actually make a move later on in the race, sitting about mid-pack, with Norman Clark behind him in 14th. Nathan Button 15th, Aidan Schultz in 16th, and he'll have a race plan that he's following at the moment, and he'll be well aware that we're a long way to go. So Jamie Nankervis behind him in 17th, Kobe Jordan 18th, Andy Barber 19th, Matt Raymond in 20th place, Brenton Henderson is sitting 21st, Billy Hickey in 22nd, is that Stuart Patterson, I think it is, in 23rd place, Noddy Tompkins in 24th, Brad Fenley 25th, Brett Campbell 26th, Justin Allen 27th, Mark Johansson's gone a lap down, so Mark Joe's must have pitted at some point, or he's just off the pace in 28th, and Tristan Koch that we were talking about a few minutes ago, 29th and a lap down. Brad Allison, something terrible's happened to Brad actually. It's obviously tied him with what happened before. He's now 3 laps down. He's just gone 4 laps down now, and Darren Mckenzie's still sitting in the pits 42 laps down. So really not too sure what's actually happened there, to be honest.
No, I just want to get. I've just been having a little look at this. I thought it's quite funny. Where the well, not funny, but interesting to see all the SRM cars all lined up pretty much in a row. So they're all red and yellow. At the moment, they're all 1 to 4 of them all in a row on position on track.
Those 3 team cars, yeah. Obviously, that's.
There's one in front of them as well. So Matty Raymond leads the back, and then there's Henderson, Hickey, and Tompkins. They're all lined up in a row.
Right, so that's the 4 team cars, yep.
So what we might do is we might just see if we can ride with Tristan for a little bit and see. Well, he's got a bit of damage to the right-hand side now. But,
yeah, I'd say he hit the wall there at some point. That's what slowed him down. But I don't know. I don't know whether he's got more damage that we're not aware of, because he's dropped right off the pace now, and he's been passed at will by anybody who comes alongside him.
I think he's taking it into the pits now while we're speaking.
It looks like that's exactly what he's doing. As we click over lap 50 of 267. 267 laps tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and this is basically our cut. Oh, we've got a car loose there with a bit of smoke on the track, but they've gotten out of the way. And we've got a caution at the moment. There's Brad Allison, and he's still running around. So I thought for a moment he may have actually had an issue that put him out of the race. But there we go with car number 14. That's is that our mate? Is it?
It's our mate, Mark Joe. I think he's had a bit of an issue. Let's see if we can find out what's going on.
Looks like he's come off and had taken the inside wall. Just trying to figure out why, though, as we see the footage from Matt.
Looks like he's been trying to give everybody a bit of space. Oh,
he's been taken out.
Yeah, the question is, did he come down or did the other car come up? But we'll have a little look at that after we have a look at this. See the aftermath. Mark's got the wall so locked it up.
He's all locked up, trying to stop it from going back on track, knowing that there was oncoming traffic.
Oh, there's no worse feeling when you're got everything locked up and you're trying to stop and you come flying up the track like that into everybody.
So, what was that car? Was that 66 that came in contact with him, I think?
Yeah. So freaking.
Just looking to see who that is. That's Karl Nedler. So, Karl Nedler's somehow come in contact with Mark Johansson and caused Mark all sorts of grief there at the moment. So, yeah, it looks like
Not sure if
looks
it's
like Karl moved up the track and
Mark's come down. I think at the same time maybe as well.
Mark
And
might have come down a little bit at the same time, and the two of them have just come together. So not much more than a racing incident from what I could see. I don't know whether Mark will see it that way, but
I'm not sure what happened, mate. I don't know
there
whether
we
I
are.
touched.
Yes, we've got Mark Johansson here and was just in the booth. What happened there, buddy?
I don't know. I don't know if I just glanced the wall or what happened. And yeah, there's no fault on Karl for just a racing thing that happened. You know, and it is what it is.
Oh, there's not much excitement in that. I expected fire and thunder and name calling, and we're not going to get any of that. No, look, it's a bit hard to see what was going on. I think he was going up as you were coming down a little bit, and it was just a bit more bad luck and unfortunate than anything else.
Oh, look, mate, I'm not going to lay the blame until I go have a look at it. And you know, it could have been me, it could have been him. You just don't know.
Send him a letter bomb later or something.
Look, he's come on over the race radio and he's apologised. So I mean, so that's all you can ask for is if something like that happens is an apology.
I was looking at it and I wasn't sure whether it was just a racing incident anyway. So it appears that's what it might have been. As you were moving down a bit, he was moving up a bit, and you know, two cars going into the same piece of track just didn't work.
Yeah, well, look, to be honest, mate, I don't like this tracker. And maybe my talent just ran out. So.
I actually saw a famous race driver once said that. He said everything was going fine until I got to turn 3 and ran out of talent.
Yeah, look, mate, I think it's been a great race so far. Like, this is the second caution, and unfortunately, it was me that brought it out. I got 5 minutes damage, so...
5 minutes. I was just about to ask how much damage you had, actually. Is that required repairs, or is it...
Yeah, no, that's required.
Right.
I can't see out over the bonnet. It's kind of sticking up in front of me.
Okay then. Yeah, unfortunately, without fast repairs in this series, you can't just get it straight. So, which means that you're probably going to be looking at a little bit of that damage for the rest of the night. I would say. I don't think it'll fully repair it in that 5 minutes. You'll have a bit of a crumpled up bonnet there, I'd say. Although you'll probably be able to see out of it all right. You'll notice that it's still not quite 100% because normal repairs don't fix it the way a fast repair would.
Yeah, no, look, I'll get the lap 66 and I'll make a judgment call, and I might join you guys back up here in the booth. I just don't want to be a mobile chicane out there. So, you know, it's better off parking it and getting the minimum points. And
well, mate, yeah. I don't know. I mean, the middle seat here. I mean, the cat's sitting on it at the moment. I don't think he wants to move. Mate, if you feel like you need to pull the plug and come and join us back up in commentary, you got to do that. We look forward to getting you up here.
Yeah, look, mate. As I said, I'd rather not be a mobile chicane. There's silverware on offer tonight. There's trophies up for this race. So, yeah, I'd rather give these guys a clean run without another chicane out there.
That's only the fair and right thing to do, mate. I did the same thing the other night in the Xfinity series on Wednesday night. I was having an absolute shock of that first few laps and decided, no, look, just get out of the way. I'm just not up to it. But the pace car's pulled in, so we'll let you get your repairs done, mate, as Michael Skurlock blasts away with the pace car out of the way on this restart. Ruben Phelps and I think it's Dyson side by side. Dyson's actually taken that second spot now from Ruben Phelps, and Skurlock still maintaining a gap. There's probably 5 car lengths there between first and second, and then you've got the whole line of cars And a lot of single file stuff here tonight as well, I've noticed, Matty.
Yeah, good start. Skullock jumped pretty early there. I think caught the rest of the field napping a bit. But yeah, everyone's sort of thinned out into single file.
He's had blinders of the start for both these restarts, and I don't know. I know it's still only early, but if he can keep running like he is, my money's on him.
Well, to be honest, I think the only thing that hurt Skurlock on Thursday night was the fact that he got it loose, dropped down onto the apron, and then got it sideways, trying to gather it up and re-enter the track, and that basically took one or two other cars out and caused an incident. But I think otherwise he was pretty unlucky to not move through the field on Thursday. So getting a good lead here is going to be a magic thing for him, because it's a long race and there's going to be plenty of pit stops that are going to need to be done. Over 267 laps, and since we're only on lap 58 now of 267, so Matty's getting himself not Matty, Michael Skurlock's getting himself a good lead there at the moment, and that's going to be very handy when he does have to actually pit, because he won't have to worry about what anybody else is doing and the fact that they're all over, knocking on his back door, because they won't be.
Yeah, and I think these cars, like the cars are tight at the moment, but as this one goes down, I think they'll get tighter. So you're going to get that push out of 4, where there's already a little push there. So just have to wait and see what happens, because I think it may catch a few people out.
I think there's going to be some instances, and it's a long race, and I think people are going to get fatigue, and I can see things not quite going to plan on their pit stops, maybe speeding in the pits or something, and somebody's going to have to come in and serve a penalty afterwards. All sorts of things could happen. At the moment, although it doesn't actually look like there's much of a gap there, the lead that Skurlock's got at the moment, if they had to pit now, he could get in, do his pit stop and get out before anybody else is finished. It just depends on whether he takes tyres as well. If he jumps in, grabs fuel and gets out, then pretty much he could do that untouched. And that will actually build his lead up again while others are finishing their pit stop and getting out and trying to catch him. So anything's possible. We see a bit of a bunch of cars here at about mid-pack at the moment, and there's a fairly good battle going on here. There's nose to tail and side-by-side stuff happening as we take a look, and I think that's is that Jamie Nankervis there? Is that about mid-pack, is it?
Yeah, it looks like Jamie's paint there.
Yeah, it's about Jamie's in 18th, so 18th place onwards.
So yeah. He's actually got what do we got?
All right, guys, I'm going to head off. The repairs are almost done. I'll go out and be a mobile chicane for a little while, and I'll be back up here.
Not a problem. We'll catch up with you when you got a chance. All right, thanks. That's Mark Johansson, Mark the Swede, paying us a visit while the car sits in the pits and gets some love and attention. And he's going to head back out on track at the moment and see what he can do with it. The target there for him now is obviously just to make minimum distance so that he can pick up some points. And if he can get a decent run going, he may even just continue on with it. But we won't see him probably again until at least lap 66 or 70. But at the moment, we're looking at Michael Skurlock leading, Andrew Dyson third. Gary Wellman has moved up to third place. Ruben Phelps back to fourth. I believe that's the situation at the moment, is it? Yep.
Yep.
So Edward Foster has moved up to fifth place. Now, I got to be honest, I'm a bit surprised at that, because I thought Ed would play the very long waiting game, which is exactly what he did a couple of days ago at this same track, and it paid dividends for him when he pulled off a second place. Although that also had some fortunate incidents going on around him, and a couple of people messed up with each other and got that, did some modifying on the front of their cars and stuff. But he's sitting up there at the moment, and currently in fifth, previously sixth, Yeah, he started back in about 24th, I believe, and he's running some reasonable lap times there at the moment. The last one was a 30.5, and his fast lap was 30.2, so he's actually running pretty well there at the moment, as he continues to battle with, I believe that's Ruben Phelps in front of him, and which puts him basically knocking on the door of the rest of the top five, and they'll be well aware that Edward Foster's there. And he's had an up and down season this season, so he's actually hoping to get some good luck going. He's had some fortunate runs here in this series and some poor runs in a couple of other series over at Anscar, so he's trying to get some consistency back into his runs, and this could be what he was looking for, but we've got a very, very long way to go, people. We are on lap 67 of 267. So with 200 laps to go, anything's possible here. It really is. Ruben Phelps taking a much lower line. You'll see how the different lines that the guys take. Edward is more a mid-track sort of a line coming down through the turns, whereas if you watch Ruben, a couple of these corners he'll stay mid-track, and a couple he'll drop almost right down to the line. But you don't see Edward drop right to the line very often. It depends on tyre wear, how far through the race it is, what turn it is as well, that sort of stuff. So it's interesting to see the different lines that some of these guys take. As you see Edward drop right down to the line on that turn, but on the other one he wouldn't come down further than mid-track. So you actually see him go right out to the wall here behind Ruben, as Ruben actually takes a bit of a lower line. Edward comes down to the line on this one, which is where Ruben went, as they tend to do a bit of follow the leader at the moment. And we've got a bit of action coming up behind them. We've got some cars mixed up there, and one of them actually looks like one of Ruben's teammates. The 07 car.
Mark Smith, yeah.
So that's Mark Smith. He's battling hard there towards the front. We've got a 4-car pack there. Adam Malone in that group as well. And they're all battling for, what is it, about 8th or 9th position onwards?
Yeah, that's right. Mark's so the 20th place car is in 6th spot. That's Dion. So yeah, yep, about 6th to about 10th, I think. Yeah.
So he's in 6th. So Foster in 5th. Yep. So Wayne Van Billion in 8th, Adam Malone 9th, and Toby Stent in 10th. So a little bit of a 4 or 5 car battle going on there early in these early laps. Really, it's 267 lap race.
There we go.
And somebody paid the price on that one, and yeah.
Yep.
Goodness me.
I could see it was pretty aggressive racing going on there, pretty hard. So
It looked like they were trying to go 4 wide through there.
yeah. Unfortunately.
End up and stretch the old bones.
Just trying to work out. The incident. Let's see if this is it. My session events might have stopped working properly.
Okay, well, that's not much good.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so what we're looking at was, just trying to think, who was that driver again?
It was Mark Smith, wasn't it?
Mark Smith was, yes.
Yeah.
So the 07 car, so he's back in 13th now. But yeah, he was running pretty much 4 wide with 3 of the other guys, and I think that was where he just paid the price. He a little bit too close to the wall, may have even bounced off the car on his inside. So not too sure what happened with that one.
Yeah. It's a shame I haven't been able to find the replay.
Well, unfortunately, you weren't unable to find the replay there, so we can't really take too much of a look at that. But let's see what I've got. Maybe I can at least take a look at exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 feeds going here at the moment, so... No, I'm not actually seeing it either, strangely enough. Okay, so a little bit unfortunate there. We can't actually bring pictures of that to you for some reason. Just looking for Mark Smith in the list there now, and I can't find him.
What we might do,
there he is.
while we're rolling around under the caution, I might just do a restart of our overlay system.
Yep, nope, that's not a problem. I'm just going to take a look at what we've actually got here and see if we can find what may have happened.
Yeah, because unfortunately it's just the session events that stopped logging, so...
Yeah, that's okay. We'll get that sorted out for you, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get that back to you. Mark actually gave one of the other cars a very light tap on the rear right before all that happened, and then he's moved to the outside, and they're actually in a group of 6 cars. Mark was on the inside, and then somehow managed to get... okay. What we've got is Mark Smith has actually come up the track into... Trying to see what the number is on that car. I know you can't see this, but I'll just let you know exactly what happened. Oh, it's the number 20 car. So, yeah, the New Zealand guys just had a bit of a coming together. He was on the outside. Mark Smith's actually taken him up track and into the wall and badly damaged both cars. So that's basically what's happened there. Just so that you know, Mark came in contact with the other driver. I believe it was number 20, which is Dion de Graaf. Okay, so yeah, Dion de Graaf and Mark Smith coming together, and that's brought out the current caution period. But first place, we've got Michael Skurlow, who won't be too happy about that because he was trying to open up a bit of a gap there and have a bit of a buffer before he started to consider a pit stop. And Andrew Dyson has moved into second, and Gary Wellman third. As we see the guys loosely lined up in single file as we come around behind the pace car. And I think the lights are about to go out on that, which means that we've got one more lap. So next time around, we should go green. At Charlotte Motor Speedway, this is the Australian Stock Car Championship Weekend Warriors for Custom Paints and Diecasts. And 200 and... Oh, that's good. Something else has gone wrong. The laps have changed.
Yeah, it's meant to be 267, but it's saying 231.
231 at the moment. So we've got a few issues going on here at the moment, but it is supposed to be 267 laps. We're on lap 75 of 267, although it says lap 75 of 231. At this point, we believe it's still 267. So long way to go. We're not even a third of the way there yet, people. So stick with us. We're doing okay so far on cautions. We've just had a decent period of green flag racing. So we'll see how it goes. Just looking to see through the field who we've got still running out there as we take a look at who's down now. Darren Mckenzie hasn't eventuated and is 69 laps down, but he had 40 minutes of repairs. So whether he comes back out or not, we're yet to see. Mark Johansson is 13 laps down, and that's from 5 minutes of him sitting in the pits with all sorts of repairs that were required. Brad Allison's maintaining 4 laps down, so he's out there somewhere still sitting in 29th. Dion de Graaf's 2 laps down after that incident, sitting 28th. And Tristan Koch is a lap down. He's done well to hold that 1 lap down. So basically, we obviously don't have a lucky dog in this, or Tristo would have gone back onto the lead lap. Was that right, Matt?
Yeah, I believe so. Unless there was already somebody else who was a lucky dog, or Tristan was involved in the incident, that might have stopped him.
It could be. I didn't see him in there, but he's maintaining 1 lap down, so he's in a pretty decent spot. and we're just going to have a look. I'm just going to have a look and see if the lucky dog is enabled.
Sorry, they should be. I'm sorry, I'm doing a little bit of fist pump here. The lap count has come right. So
good. Yep.
We're now showing 267 laps going to be coming up. So I'm happy.
I'm virtually fist pumping with you, mate. That's good. I'm in support. So yeah, 6 sets of tyres throughout this race, including the one they started on. So 5 sets throughout the race, and no fast repairs, obviously, and I'm not seeing anything about lucky dog. So I don't know whether we actually have a lucky dog.
We should do. I imagine we would have.
Well, we normally do, as far as I'm aware, but we'll see how it goes. I can't remember from series to series to series. It's hard to remember what's got what. But yeah, we'll take a look. But at the moment, we've got Michael Skurlock leading, Andrew Dyson in second, Gary Wellman third, Ruben Phelps fourth, Edward Foster has snuck his way up to 5th place there through the field after starting back in about 28th spot. Wayne Van Billion 6th, Adam Malone 7th, Toby Stent 8th, Aidan Schultz up to 9th place. So he's slowly creeping through the field there, which is probably the way he's trying to do it. It's how he was trying to do it a couple of nights ago until he had a bit of a whoopsie and got a bit loose. And, of course, 10th place, Norman Clark still holding in a top 10 spot. So that's our top 10 at the moment. As I reach for some water, sorry.
You're right. Just sort of working out where to put the camera and have a little bit of look at action. I think Ruben's having a bit of a crack at Foster for 4th place here.
Yeah, Edward's actually trying to move back up through. Oh, he's already in 4th, so Ruben tried to take that away from him, didn't get the chance. Edward obviously had much better run as Edward takes on Gary Wellman now. And if he can get this done, that'll put Edward into the top 3 with a very long way to go in this race. Very different to the way Edward drove the other night. He was happy to start at the back and run around for most of the 200 laps and waited until the last third of the race before he started to move forward. And what he's done tonight is actually taken the opposite approach, whereas in this first 80 laps, he's decided he wants to actually make a move and get up to the front, and then he'll probably just try and carry on from there with his usual strategy. And that's exactly what he's done now, as Edward Foster moves into 3rd place ahead of Gary Wellman, and then Ruben Phelps in 5th place at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is the Weekend Warriors for the Australian Stock Car Championship for Custom Paints and Diecasts on the Performance streaming network through YouTube.
It could be a case as well with the temperatures dropping, maybe with nighttime transition. I know that a lot of the drivers overnight have built setups, to run at night because that's when the finish of the race was going to be, and so they were, a bit slower in the daytime and were happy to ride around. And then as it transitioned to the night, and their cars sort of hooked up a bit more, and they sort of pushed towards the front.
Yeah, well, that's it. As Ruben takes on Gary Wellman now, side by side. And Ruben's wanting to make a move here and take that spot, which he does. Gets through there cleanly. Gary can only put up so much of a fight. Obviously, the track at the moment is favouring that inside line through those turns as far as speed is concerned. But on the outside line on the straights, obviously, as Ruben takes that again. Gary's stuck mid-track there at the moment and obviously is struggling for pace to actually compete with a lot of these guys. As I think that's Van Billion that's making a move on him at the moment, side by side. And I think that car looks strangely familiar, like it might be Aidan Schultz behind them, I think.
I think it is.
And then they've got one of the Simblack guys behind that, I believe.
Yeah, Toby Stent, I believe. Let's jump down and have a look. Yeah, so there's Aidan there, and then Toby Stent behind him. The 189, Adam Malone, and the number 3 car there. I think poor what happened for Gary there was he got a bit stuck on the high line there. Other cars also, once they get on the inside, you can't come down, and you want to be on the inside line. It's a bit faster.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm just trying to bring that back up at the moment, looking at a couple of things, and just trying to check your comments actually in the feed at the moment. So just trying to get that up there at the moment. So where are we? That one there.
I'll tell you what, something that's quite interesting. There's not a lot of love for the Toyota Camry out there. There is one Camry in the field.
Well, that's actually quite strange, really. It's very strange. Normally see a few up the front there.
Gary Wellman's driving slow here. I think he might be heading to pit road. It's always the way whenever I turn my eyes away from the screen, something happens.
Okay, so just taking a look at some of your comments in there. Good day to Abigail Foster, who's in there at the moment. And, yep, woohoo, 5th place. He's actually even further up now, Abigail. And just going through, Phelps and Foster need to find a way past Wellman. Well, that's been done now. So just taking a look through the comments there, just trying to catch up, as it's a little bit difficult to keep up with both when there's not a third person here, because normally that's what Mark would do if he was in the booth. He'd be keeping an eye on that sort of stuff. Well, there's that point too, Abigail, that, yeah, the setup he had on Thursday night, he really was unhappy with, so he struggled with that pretty hard. But we get back to what's happening on track at the moment, and we've got Michael Skurlock first place, and Dyson second, Foster third. I think we've got Phelps in 4th, Billion 5th. That's your top 5 there at the moment. So it's actually been, compared to Thursday night, it's been fairly clean tonight, Matt.
It has. There's been a good amount of patience been shown. Obviously a lot longer race as well, 6 or 7 laps longer. And yeah, good patience showing up for most drivers through the field.
Well, I think maybe even the case, because it's so close together, quite a few of these guys saw what went on Thursday night with just trying a bit too hard and putting the nose where it shouldn't have been, and they're well aware of how long this one is, and it's an extra 67 laps, and because we haven't actually had the incidents at the back half of the pack that we had on Thursday night in the NASCAR Cup, so that was 200 laps, and we spent the first half of that going to caution fairly regularly, as the back half of the field just kept having issues here and there and either getting loose or whatever. But these guys are doing a stellar job at actually keeping these cars straight and pointed in the right direction, as we keep an eye on a couple of these guys. I think there's Noddy Tompkins in there.
Billy Hickey, Brenton Henderson, and yeah, just watching Andy Barber there in the 05 making some passes there. Jamie Name,
Brad Allison in behind Nan Curvis, as Nan Curvis, and what I can't actually tell what number that car is, that second red and yellow car.
113, Brenton Henderson.
Right, it's Brenton Henderson, okay, yeah, because he's got the damage on the side. I couldn't see what the number was. Right. But yeah, side by side with Nan Curvis. But Nan Curvis is making a good move here at the moment, as he takes on car 87. Brad Allison sitting in behind this. So what the issue was that Brad had earlier, I'm not sure about, because he's sort of back and at full speed. The only thing I can assume is, as I said earlier, that maybe he had a bit of a net dropout, and everybody disappeared on him with a really high ping. But he's certainly not suffering from that at the moment, as he's come up all over these two cars, and he's just going to bluff by him on the inside. There's Brad Allison in the 03 now, and he's just picking up a couple of spots.
Yeah, Brad's obviously still 4 laps down, so he's not really racing these guys for position.
No,
so
he's trying to make his way through the field and unlap himself.
Yeah, if you're smart, you know that you're on the lead lap. You're not racing this guy for position. He's faster than you. Just let him go. And yeah, let him clear out and concentrate on
So-
your race.
If we get the chance later, might have a word to Brad, like say if the opportunity pops up, just to maybe find out what it was that happened. I'm assuming it was one of his random net issues that he's been suffering for the last few weeks, but a little bit strange that he backed off and kept going. The only thing I could think of was that he lost view of all the other cars dropping out due to a high ping, but that we'd have to confirm that with him if we get the chance to talk to him later on, I guess. At the moment, though, looking through the field.
Jumped up to about 5th and 6th spot here. It's a bit of 2x2, 2 deep action. It's Aidan Schultz in the 52, passing Ruben Phelps.
Okay, and Adam Maloney behind him. So Ruben's in a little bit of a Southern Star sandwich there at the moment.
Ruben got super loose off that corner there. I don't know whether he got help or not, or whether he just did that on his own. But he gathered it up.
But Wayne Van Billion still sitting in 8th place. Adam Malone 7th. Ruben Phelps holding 6th after dropping a spot to Aidan Schultz, who's having a nice, just stroking it along, nice, smooth, clean run, keeping his head down and getting the job done up into the top 5. Toby Stent in 4th, Edward Foster 3rd, Andrew Dyson 2nd, and Michael Skurlock still holding down 1st place. And this is the Memorial Day Cup at Charlotte Motor Speedway for Weekend Warriors, the Australian Stock Car Championship, brought to you by Custom Paints and Diecasts. And you are watching it through Performance E streaming. Almost said it back to front then.
That's all right.
We've got Aidan Schultz on screen there at the moment in the number 52.
He's moved up to 4th spot now.
Up to 4th spot now, so he's having a great run. He's where was he? Been back as far as 9th. I think that's where he started.
29th, yeah.
And started 29th. Currently 4th. He's at 25 positional changes. That's just a hell of a run there, Matt.
It is. It's a good, strong run. Just having a little look to see if he is the biggest mover or not so far. I think he might be, yeah, up 25.
25 spots, that's a big jump. Edward Foster would probably be the next one in the queue, I'd say, for that, wouldn't he?
Indeed, yeah, up 21. And who's that? Noddy Tompkins is up 20 spots as well.
Okay, so these are the guys that I mentioned earlier. There was about 8 or 9 of them started at the back of the field because they didn't run a qualifying time. And several of those guys making their way to the front now, which is what they're obviously after. Expected there to be a lot more drama in the early stages, and figured starting at the back would keep them clear of that. And quite often that works. Sometimes it backfires on you when you get caught up with the guys that actually get into the trouble because you just wrong place, wrong time. But Edward Foster's another one of those, coming up 21 spots. From the back of the field, didn't actually bother to qualify, and currently sitting 3rd position behind Andrew Dyson and Michael Skurlock in the lead.
Just having a look at the other side of the equation, I think our biggest dropper will be Justin Allen, who's down 15 spots. Actually, no, it is Brad Allison, down 16 spots.
Brad Allison down 16. Yeah. Well, Brett. See, yeah, I'm still thinking that was an internet issue of some kind, high ping or something, because he's running really well and fighting his way back now. And there is a long way to go, so I wouldn't write him off just yet. We're not even halfway through. But just taking a look, and I'm just looking to see. Darren, I might have actually pulled the plug by now.
Not sure.
I'm still seeing his car still sitting in the pits.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the timer. It's got him being in there 43.5 minutes so far. So, yeah.
I think more than he actually had in repairs, and he's 99 laps down now. So he may have actually decided just to park it while those repairs were going on, and decided just not to worry about it. He should have been back out on track by now if he was going to continue on.
Yeah, if he does come back out, he's got 15 laps to get up to the next place. And then, yeah, so
So that's exactly right, because
Quite a big
66 laps is the cutoff.
Mm.
Yeah, 25% or 66 laps must be completed to actually get championship points. And we've got, we've got 100, what have we got, 160 something left. Where are we? 160 laps to go. And he has to complete 66 laps. So there's still a bit of time, but I'd say he had 40 minutes of repairs and he's been in there for 45 minutes. I'd say there's a pretty good chance that Darren's decided to pull the plug on that one. And the team just hasn't put the car away in the transporter yet. That's what it looks like.
I think so too, yeah.
If he was going to come back out, I'd say he would have done so by now. But, yeah, unfortunate early casualty there, Darren Mckenzie, because he's one of the guys that generally would have given this race a pretty good shake. But, yeah, just unfortunate that he just got loose at the wrong part of the track and suffered the consequences of the outside concrete wall. So we keep an eye on Andrew Dyson at the moment, who's up into second. With Michael Skurlock ahead of him, that's who he's trying to run down, and he's got Edward Foster behind him, who he's got to worry about. As we see a bit of a gap there, there's several car lengths between Skurlock and Dyson, and then you've got nearly the same gap back to 53, which is Edward Foster in third place. So the boys getting the job done there, Abigail, so plenty to be happy about at this point. With 98, 97 laps to go. No, actually. What's that?
157.
157, sorry. my maths are not the way they used to be.
I'm not sure when they went back to green, so I'm not sure when we're going to start seeing pit stops again, unfortunately. Just because
unfortunately, yeah, I'm not sure what the last lot of pit stops was. In fact, I think it would have been the last caution period, and that's been a fair while. So we may end up starting to see people coming in for fuel, maybe tyres. I'd say tyres at this point of the race. I mean, we're more than a third through, and they started with 4 sets for during the race. I'm guessing that we'll start to see people come in for tyres soon, with only 155, 156 laps to go. You could easily spread that out over 3 sets of tyres. So here comes Adam Malone. Speaking of pit stops, here he comes now.
Let's see if he takes some tyres.
So Adam in to try and get the early jump on this one. He might be playing a bit of an undercut job here. Not taking any tyres by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Only fuel. No, he must have put tyres on in that last caution period, which means he could... Oh, no, there we go. It's doing it now. It took a long time for the pit crew to get that car jacked up. Yes. And it's doing all 4. So Adam Malone's taken fuel and all 4 tyres. An unusually slow stop there, Matt.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there.
Was just about to think that he wasn't taking tyres when all of a sudden the car came up on the jacks. So
yeah, so
I'm not quite sure what happened.
He might have done quite a bit of damage repair, and maybe it was a late decision while he was sitting there to do tyres.
Well, actually, yeah, it could have been. If he had any optional repairs, that sort of little bit of biff and barge through the field and that sort of thing, and bit of paint swapping, then yeah, that would have slowed down the rest of the pit stop. So that's possibly what's happened. He's allowed that to do the optional repairs, and then he's taken on the tyres as well. So he's actually set for probably about another 70 or 80 laps, I'd say, depending on how the cautions run. I mean, if we run 40 or 50 laps, he may even take tyres at the next one. He's probably still got now about 2 to 3 sets up his sleeve. So who we got there? Kobe Jordan, currently running 7th in the field in the 080 car. And having a pretty reasonable run, Kobe, tonight. Kept himself out of trouble, and don't recall seeing him get tangled up with anybody. The car looks fairly straight, and he's up to 7th place.
Yeah, very strong run. I'll just see if we can have a look and see. Yeah, up 20 spots.
So well, I remember him starting back where Edward Foster and those guys were. So, he's another one of these guys that's come right through the field and given everybody in front of him a chance to have an accident before he gets there, which hasn't really happened much tonight. We've only had 2 caution periods, I think. I think we've had 2 cautions, three cautions in 117 laps. Because one of those was early, but it was fairly minor. I think that was when Darren Mckenzie actually got loose and hit the wall, and it didn't involve anybody else in that.
Yeah, it was pretty fortunate for most of the guys back there. They didn't get involved in it. It's just a single car sort of deal.
But he's running fairly well. As we take a look at Wayne Van Billion.
I think I saw another car head to pit lane then. There's one coming down pit lane.
I think that's actually Kobe. Because when it changed across to Wayne... Oh, no, it's not. It's Norman Clark.
Yeah.
Because, that would be why then, because Kobe was coming up as 7th, and then when it changed to Wayne Van Billion, they'd listed him as 7th. So that would be because... I'd say because Norman's pulled off to go to the pits and they've passed him, so... But he's taking all 4 tyres as well, and fuel, and that's a much quicker stop. So I think we may have hit the nail on the head there with the optional repairs for Adam Malone earlier, because he was in there for a long time, a lot longer than what Norman Clark just was, and he took fuel and 4 tyres, so much quicker stop.
Oh, he's spinning it out.
Norman lost control, exiting the pits. And into the wall. That'll bring out... no, it won't bring out a caution. He's off the racing line.
Unfortunately, he's damaged the car, though, so...
But he's given that a really big clout on the infield wall as he now rejoins, but he's not going to be up to speed. He's not going to... He's depending on what damage that's done, and it looks like it's fairly substantial along the side and the bonnet and that left front corner. So that's very, very unusual. That's just simply cold tyres on these next-gen cars, and he's given it some throttle to rejoin the race as he's come off the pit lane, and it's just simply gone around on him, just cut loose. Yeah. So very, very unfortunate there for Norman Clark.
It can be very bumpy on that exit of pit road. And you think you can push pretty hard, but it sort of tightens up and gets pretty bumpy, and it can get the car a little bit loose, which is what happened there.
Well, it may also come down to what gear he was in, because normally by that stage you're into 3rd, but if he was still in 2nd and then punched the throttle to actually join the racing surface, it may have been enough to get the rear tyres to break loose, which appears to have been what's happened there. As we see the 06 of Ruben Phelps, and he's actually entered the pit lane now.
And Nathan Button's on pit road as well behind him.
Nathan Button also in the pits. So we're at that point now, lap 122. They're all going to start to come in now. All 4 tyres and fuel for Ruben, and he's away as quickly as Norman was. So, yeah, I'm guessing Adam Malone just simply allowed it to do some optional repairs when he was in early, because he was in there for a lot longer than those guys were.
Yeah, it was a little bit unusual because obviously when you're doing tyres, they do tyres first and then they do the optional damage second. And we could see that his car sat there for quite a while before they jacked it up into the tyres. So I wonder if he sort of decided while he was sitting there while they were doing the damage that he would change the tyres while he was there.
Well, it could be it too. He may have had tyres off and decided to do it while the car was in the pits. That's probably a good explanation of what may have taken place there.
And he quite simply he maybe just forgot to tick tyres for the pit stop. So that happens as well, unfortunately.
We keep an eye on Ruben Phelps now as he's done his pit stop and he's off and away. So he'll use the next couple of laps to get that back up to temperature. A bit of heat in the brakes and the tyres, and he'll make his way back up the front and wait for a lot of the other guys to pit. Michael Skurlock must be just about due for a pit stop.
No, they have all pitted actually. Skurlock's sitting in 12th, and
Right, okay.
he's got Foster, who looks like he's made up a spot on pit road because he's now sitting behind Skurlock, and then Dyson behind him.
Right. Oh, just trying to keep up with what's going on here, mate. But
yeah, there's so much going on right at the moment. Just trying to sort of keep up. Everybody's on different strategies, and yeah.
Just suddenly feeling not so well either, but it's okay. If I go quiet, it's okay. I'm still here.
That's all right. I'll just jump in and waffle on.
No, it's all right. I'll see how I go. Yeah. But yeah, so we've got Skurlock, and that's Foster behind him. So Edward sitting in second, obviously. It hasn't actually listed him as being in second yet. I've still got.
No, they're
because they pitted. These guys have pitted. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we've still got the top 10 cars on the track haven't done that pit stop yet. So that's why Skurlock's showing as in the 11th, but he's the first of the ones that's made the last round of pit stops. So, effective race lead sort of thing when they do pit. Effective race leader will be Skurlock. Foster in second and Dyson in 13th, but for now it's 11th, 12th and 13. So I'm just
we'll go over the top 10. If I sound a bit funny, it's because my tongue and my lips have just gone completely numb.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. But it's all right. Feeling a little bit spaced out too, so we'll carry on. It's all right. I'm an old man. These things happen. Okay, so we've got Kobe Jordan currently listing as first place. Matty Raymond in second. Then Andy Barber. Drady in fourth. Nedler back up to fifth. Then Curvis in sixth. So good run there from Jamie. Mark Smith seventh. Brad Fenley in eighth. Good to see Brad up that far. Henderson in ninth. Stuart Patterson there in rounding out the top 10. Michael Skurlock back in 11th with Edward Foster behind him because they've just recently pitted, so they're fighting their way back through. Those cars in front of them will most of them will at least pit. Andrew Dyson also fighting his way back with Schultz in 14th place. And rounding out the top 15 is Stent. And you are watching the Memorial Day Cup, 267 laps of Charlotte Motor Speedway for Weekend Warriors, the Australian Stock Car Championship, brought to you by Custom Paints and Diecasts.
So we can just take a break if you want and just.
That's fine.
Listen to the sounds of the race.
Yeah, I was going to say we hop into the cabin of one of these cars and we crank it up a bit and just listen to these beasts roar around Charlotte Motor Speedway.
I'll just see if we can pick a close battle and just jump on board. Don't mind me, I'm just having a look through the intervals.
That's fine. I'm just going to pop down and have a quick word with Mark Johansson and see how he's going for the moment while we take a look in car. And we're with Noddy Tompkins in the number 80 car as we rip around Charlotte Motor Speedway. Crank that one up. Yeah, so I'm back. I've just gone and had a word with Mark. He's going pretty well down there at the moment, Mark Johansson, and he's actually looking at running about another 20 laps, and he'll put himself in a position for a decent haul of points, and he's going to actually pop back up into the commentary box and join us again.
That'd be good. Give us a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I might, when he comes up, I might actually step away for 5 minutes and see if I can shake whatever this is, and then come back and finish the race. But yeah, it's just, well, all of a sudden just come over me, so I'm not sure. No sympathy required or anything. I just, just struggle on, and we'll see how we go. But yeah, my lips and my tongue actually got really numb, and I had no feeling in them there for a couple of minutes. They're starting to come good now, but once Mark comes up, I might just take a minute to stretch my legs and grab a drink of something other than water, and see if I can, just see how we go. I'll take a couple of Panadol or something and see if that helps. But yeah, we'll see how we go. On with the race though, and Matty Raymond sitting first, Nedler second, and Jamie Nankervis up to third place. Now, understandably, the guys behind them have already pitted, and these guys probably yet to. But it's great to see those names at the front of the field, Matt.
Yeah, it's always good to see the names who, might be sort of running mid to lower pack. Good to see them sort of throw a good little bit of strategy into the mix and try and get themselves a result. If it works out, they might end up getting top 10s and stuff, whereas they might have only been getting top 20s. So,
that's it. That's what's been so good to see young Nathan Button at the front there a couple of times in the last 2 or 3 races, because he got I think he was a third or a fourth a couple of weeks ago on the Thursday night, and then this Thursday night just gone, I think he finished fifth or sixth. I think he finished sixth behind Andrew Dyson. So it's great to see those guys get the chance to finish at the front, run at the front, and that sort of thing, because it also gives us a little bit something a bit different to watch with the field mixed up a bit.
It does, yeah, and I would imagine that they're probably trying to save themselves a set or two of tyres for the end, in the hope that maybe there is a late caution and the leading lap cars have used up all their tyres, and then you might be able to make up a whole bunch of positions really quickly at the end with a fresh set of tyres, while everybody else is running around on old ones.
Well, this is why I suspect that Adam Malone may have actually pitted in pretty much before anybody else did, because I thought maybe he was going for the undercut. We know for a fact from Thursday night he can do long stints here at this track. 80 laps, I think, was his first fuel stint for fuel and tyres or something. But that ultimately, in the end, that didn't work out for him. When he finished a few spots back, I think, in 14th or something. But there was a period there where the way he was doing his pit stops and stuff, that he was a real threat for at least a top 10 finish. And so you may even see that tonight. This is a longer race, obviously, 141 out of 267 laps, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm just going to take a little bit of a look at the YouTube chat. What do we got here? So let's take a look at this. Nope, there's not much happening in the chat there. Just good day to the usual crew. Abigail, how you going? She's still in there, I believe. And leaders must have all pitted as well. Yes, they did, I believe. That's why they're back a few spots, Abigail. But they're working forward now, so you would have realised that from the broadcast already. And just having a look. There's not a whole lot more happening in the live chat. So if you're out there, just let us know you're there and you're watching, and give us a bit of a like. I mean, we've only got about a quarter of the likes of people watching at the moment. So give us a bit of a like. Let us know you're out there. Drop a comment. If you're sort of following a particular driver or team, let us know about it. And we'll give you a shout out and let you know where they're up to in the field.
I'm just trying to remember all the YouTube videos I watched, what the usual sayings are. Give us a like and hit the subscribe button and all that sort of thing.
Just about everything's got it on there, yeah.
It's usually the first
Um,
thing they say. I should maybe get better at doing that, I guess.
I don't think I do, actually, very much. When I'm on my live streams while I'm racing, I think I've only ever actually done it once or twice. I generally just too busy thinking about what I'm doing and what's going on in the car and responding to stuff in the live chat. So yeah, I mean, if people are enjoying what they're watching, then they'll give it a like. But a lot of the time, I don't give a like to videos I'm watching because I don't think to while I'm watching it.
Yeah, same.
So there's that as well. I mean, it's just a bit of that human factor where you've just engrossed in what you're watching and you're enjoying it, and you don't think about it until afterwards. I should have hit the like button, you know. But yeah, it's the way it goes. I mean, I do it myself, yeah. So just taking a look, our top three has basically all but sorted itself out from what it was before that last caution period and that round of green flag pit stops. Michael Skurlock continues to lead. Andrew Dyson up to second. Edward Foster back to third. He was running second not so long ago. We've got Stent in fifth, Schultz in fourth, Phelps sixth, then Jordan, Barber. That'll be Andy Barber. Matt Raymond in ninth. Steve Williams rounding out the top 10. Van Billion in 11th. Adam Malone running 12th. Noddy Tompkins in 13th. Nathan Button up to 14th, so he's good to see him back inside the top 15 there. And Jamie Nankervis sitting 15th in the number 8 car with the Custom Paints and Diecasts livery. They, of course, are sponsors of the series. As we take a look at Michael Skurlock there. He's got a reasonable gap back to Andrew Dyson there, Matt.
For Skurlock? Sorry, I was just having a look at the chat and replying to the chat. Yeah, he's cleared out 1.2 seconds on this race so far. Is a pretty good gap. Like he's pretty well hooked up. He likes his fixed setup. Going pretty good.
Yeah, so good day to Sarah Kay. How are you out there? She's following Kobe Jordan tonight, and Abigail there as usual. Yep, we are only just past halfway, Abigail. So 147 out of 167. So we've still got nearly half a race to go, and the boys are getting the job done out there. Fairly clean race tonight, Matt.
Yeah, very, very good clean race. I think part of it as well, that might play into it, is being a fixed setup. It might be what we call, a safe setup. It's a lot easier to sort of catch the setup if it does sort of get loose on you or snap away, and a lot more stable, as opposed to the open setups on Thursday night. They might have been a bit more.
Well, there's probably a lot to what you're saying there, I'd say, Matt, because Thursday night being open setup race here at Charlotte for the ANSCAR Cup, guys may have been willing to sort of ride on the edge of stability and stuff like that for more speed and pace, but it also may have bitten them throughout the event by getting loose. And I think some guys in the first half of the race just probably weren't as careful as they needed to be. I think a lot of people took something out of that for tonight.
I think so indeed, yeah. Just watching on the screen here, Jamie Nankervis in the number 8 car. He is the first car 1 lap down, so he is trying to use his fresher tyres to get past Michael Skurlock on the outside there and get his lap back, which he looks like he's going to do there. Just going to have a little look at the difference in age of tyres on that. Yeah, it's not really giving us much information on that, unfortunately.
So I was just looking at the wrong screen there for a minute.
Oh, here we are. So Jamie Nankervis's tyres are only 8 laps old, and Skurlock's tyres were 30 laps old. So that's, you saw the 8 pass him there.
Jamie's going to have a bit of an advantage there and better tyres. He'll have better pace. So Skirley's probably, that puts Skirley probably, what, about another 20 or 30 laps away from a pit stop, I'd say, unless there's a caution.
Mm-hmm.
I got out of that last run, I got 68 laps out of that set of tyres. So the tyres aren't really hurting that much here tonight.
Clouds, we're rejoined by Mark the Swede Hansen. Hello, mate.
How you going, guys? So yeah, decided to park it. Starting to get a few engine noises, so park it up, come back up here, and have
Noises
have
or the
another
car
run.
is?
Sorry.
You're getting the engine noises or the car is?
Well, both. I haven't had anything to eat since lunchtime. That's why I took a little bit more time to come back. I ducked out and grabbed a handful of chips.
Good on you, mate. Good on you. All right, so as we continue to actually just take a bit of a look at this, where are we? Discord.
I can tell you, I've been between myself and Scott McClintock, which he's cooked tonight, so that's why he's not here. We've been doing our setups, but tonight I played around with, or today I played around with the setups, and believe it or not, this one is the better out of the three that iRacing offer, and it's the one that I came up with would have been a little bit too loose for some of our more inexperienced drivers. So, excuse me. So the safest bet was to go with this iRacing open setup for Charlotte.
Okay. Yep. All right. So if we take a look at our top 10 there at the moment, we are looking at Michael Skurlock continues to lead with Andrew Dyson, Edward Foster, Aidan Schultz in fourth, Toby Stent, Kobe Jordan, Reuben Phelps, Matty Raymond in eighth, Andy Barber ninth, Stephen Williams rounds out the top 10, and Wayne Van Billion and Adam Malone knocking on the door there to round out the top dozen or so. Just looking down through the field, there's a guy all the way down. I'm just trying to find him now. There he is, yeah, down there. 28th position, Mark Johansson, and he's back in the commentary box at the moment. Yeah,
this is where I'll stay for the rest of the night. Just play it safe. As I said, mate, there's silverware up for grabs tonight, and I definitely don't want to wreck anyone. You know what I race like. I try and race fairly clean and hard, and it's not worth destroying someone else's championship.
As we take a look at this particular battle pack, and Matt's good enough to put up some slides of the cars on the screen there for us. So as you can see along the bottom of the screen, plenty going on throughout the field. Brad Allison's still out there battling. He's about, what's that, mid-pack somewhere, is he?
Yeah, he's actually down in 27th. He's still having internet problems.
Yeah, he had a major issue earlier where apparently he couldn't see anybody else.
Well, what's happening with Brad is he keeps he's staying on the track, but everyone around him is disappearing. He said
because
that
of his ping dropping out. Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying that he's done a lap there with no other cars on the track. So, So
bit of a problem. I know it is. He's actually having his people looking at it, and they are monitoring the situation for a while to see what they can see in the final analysis, so they can know what it is they need to sort out. But as we take a look at car 83, who I believe is that Noddy Tompkins.
No, that's Matty Raymond.
Matty Raymond.
Oh, that's Matty Raymond, sorry.
There's another one who likes to start right at the back and work his way up through the field. He's up 18 positions.
Well, he's sitting right behind Reuben Phelps at the moment in the Goodyear Tyre Centre livery.
So just to reiterate, get the word out, just to clarify that, Matty Raymond and Bill Hickey have put in for a number change. So Matty Raymond is now 83 for the rest of the season, and Bill Hickey will be 87 for the rest of the season. Just to bring in, we try and work in with, well, us and Ant's car try and work in together and try and give the guys the same number in both leagues. That way they don't have to keep changing paints through between the two leagues. So,
fair enough.
Yeah, so it was fair that the numbers were vacant. So the admin had said yes, you can take those numbers. So that's why they're in a slightly different number tonight.
We've got Kobe Jordan on screen there at the moment in the 080 car. Started 27th, and he's currently sitting 6th, so that's a good run there from Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe has some really great races. he's been unlucky in the last couple of weeks. He's been caught up with someone else's incidents and not had the greatest race. But tonight he seems like he's finally settled in and got that Mustang really working well.
Yeah. Sorry, mate, just grabbing a mouthful of water.
Sorry, mate. Who else has been the big charges? Matty Raymond from 26th up to 8th. Andy J. Barber in the 05 car. He started in 28th and he's now up in the 9th. So that's a nice big move for him.
So far, Aidan is our biggest mover so far, up 25 spots.
Oh, that's a big jump, a big move through the field for Aidan. But I'm not really surprised. I mean, Aidan's known to do that.
Aidan, when Aidan's on, Aidan's on. But when he has a bad night, he has a bad night. And let's hope tonight he stays in that focus.
Not a lot of in between there for Aidan, and I'm sure he'd probably agree that he's had some nights there where everything has just come together for him, and other nights where you'd think he just tripped over a ladder and kicked a black cat.
Yeah, definitely. But he's been going well tonight. He's been staying stable and consistent. Now let's touch some wood and hope we don't put the curse on him. So he's looking fairly strong. Just after midway of the race.
I'm just going to step away for a few minutes, guys. Sorry.
No, you're right.
Yep, no worries, mate.
Yep. Let's see if we can have a look and see where Andrew Dyson is. David Foster. Yep. So yes, there's still a back marker car between Foster and Dyson on the track.
That back marker, I believe, is Mark Smith. Mark is sitting down in 15th position, one lap down. So should we have a caution, he'll receive the lucky dog at the moment. So and looks like Ed's decided to pull into the pits, has he?
Yeah, it looks like he is. Yep. He's pulled the trigger on this. So just under 99 laps to go. So he might be looking at splitting up this last 100 laps into 50 lap runs.
So right side tyres.
Left sides as well.
Yep, four tyres. So he'll be good to have a run. But unfortunately, you may end up going a lap down, pitting on the green, which is let's hope it doesn't happen for Ed, because I know Ed was keen for a win here tonight after a reasonable finish on Thursday night in the Ants car.
Yeah, I think he's a bit more happier in this fixed setup car tonight than what he was on Thursday night.
Yeah, and we got a caution, so that's kind of sort of played into Ed's hands there. Oh, Skurlock is lit.
Yeah, I was saying, let's have a look and see if we can find what the caution was. Oh my lord.
Oh, but Tristan has gotten loose and come down. That is so unlucky for Skurlock.
Oh yeah, we see Tristan's out of control there.
I think that big magnet turned on and grabbed Tristan up into that outside wall. And unfortunately for Skurlock, he is in the same situation as Thursday night in that first wreck on Thursday night. Gone to avoid an innocent party and he's been collected.
Oh, that's unfortunate. And that's the race leader. It's another one coming out of pit road. That's what it is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Tristan's come out of pit road. He's hit these bumps and gas. And it's flicked him out sideways. And he's just not been able to gather out the car. He's been fishtailing down the whole back straight. And
Dyson's been very lucky there too to avoid that.
Let's see if we can see this one again from the blimp view. Yeah, so he's just started. He's got loose coming out of pit road. He's hit those bumps under power. He's flicked him up. Oh, unlucky.
Unlucky, yeah.
I dare say that might be Skurlock's race done.
I think it may be. I'm just trying to see.
Yeah, there's smoke coming out of it as well. So
Yeah, I'll just duck down and see if I can get a word from him, Matt. So if you can hold the fort for a minute.
Yep. So I think everyone's taken the opportunity to pit there. Let's just check these pit lap times and see. So it's showing Aidan Schultz as the race leader at the moment. I believe they all sort of pop down and grab fresh tyres and fuel. Just have a look here. I think on the track we're seeing a number of cars in front of Aidan there, and they are behind the pace car. I think they'll be looking to get the wave around. Yeah, I think Foster will be one of those cars. As the lap cars come into the pits now at the moment. So we can see. Is at least.
Oh, sorry. Yep. That Skurlock's night done. Too much damage. Yeah, unlucky. I just had a quick word. He may join us in the booth a little bit later. He's going to go take a pit stop himself and grab a drink and something to eat, and he'll come back. And I just said to him, mate, you were looking good there for the silverware. And he said, now that I'm out, I'm definitely going to say it was mine. So, just an unfortunate incident there for him.
Yeah, just wrong place, wrong time, unfortunately there. And it does look like these first 4 cars showing on the track here will all be taking the wave around, which should put them back around about the 18th and 19th spots, I believe. No, actually, I might even put them back to around 23rd, because Norman Clark is in 22nd and he is 1 lap down. So these wave around cars will most likely be on the back of Norman in 22nd there. But I'm sure it won't take long. Unfortunately, Foster will have to work his way through the field again up to the front.
Yeah, it kind of sort of worked in Ed's favour. Probably could have that caution could have happened another 4 or 5 laps down, and may have been able to get some of the other front runners into the pits and taking their stops under the green.
It's always the way. I always find if you come in early as a bit of a strategy, and sometimes it backfires on you for caution like that, and now you're gonna have to work your ass off to get back up there again.
Yeah, definitely. But that puts Aidan in the top spot, and Aidan tends to hold that field back a little bit until they go green. So we'll see if he starts early and tries to get a jump, or he holds the field until the last minute.
Yeah, seeing. I think so. Foster will restart the race in 16th spot. Williams in 17th. Just an update on Foster there for Gale as we watch this race restart again. I think he's gone pretty early.
Yep, he's gone. He's away, and he's got a great jump on Dyson. So Aidan leads the race with Dyson second, and I believe that is
Ruben in third.
Ruben and
Toby Stent in fourth.
Toby
yeah.
Stent.
Yep.
So
and
he's
Matty,
not having a bad night.
No, he's been pretty solid. He's been up and around there. Matty Raymond in fifth as well has been having a good night too. Just having a look to see.
That's 11 spots for 11. No, 20, 21 spots for Matty Raymond he's made tonight. So that's a great result for him so far.
There's a big power move there. Dyson goes around the outside of Schultz there to take the lead again. As that settles down, we'll have a little look back here. Stent's moved up into third.
Yellow again. We're under yellow. Just heard over the race radio somewhere on the front straight.
Okay, I'll have a quick little look here and see what we can find. Oh, yep. So
Andy Barber. Looks like he may have just gotten loose coming out of turn 2. Yep.
Yep.
Just broke loose on him coming out of 2.
4.
Turn
Turn
4, sorry.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's yeah, it happens to most of us.
Yeah, and that's where the car's been really loose tonight. It's just there's a little bit of a hump in the track where it comes down, and the car gets just that little bit floaty there, and if you hit it at the wrong spot, there's nothing you can do. It's just turns you.
Just takes off, yeah. If you're trying to put the power down and hit that bump, and yep, she unfortunately takes off.
Just sorry, I was just trying to get a word in with one of the drivers there in the race, but just can't get anyone at the moment.
That's alright. I'll just have a look in here and see if we can get on the cameras. Just chuck up a race summary to see how we're going so far. So 177 laps completed, 90 laps remaining. I think there's been more lead changes than that. I think because I've had to restart the overlay system that the lead changes and the cautions count won't be 100% accurate, unfortunately. But yeah.
All right, we're joining the com box by Billy. Billy Hickey, you got a copy on us, mate? Mark in the broadcast booth.
Yep, got a copy on you there, mate. How you guys going? Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Looks like the number changes are doing you well tonight, mate.
Yeah, something had to give at some point. Yeah, we changed my number to 87, which is completely the polar opposite to what I go to. And geez, I've made it more than 10 laps through a race. It's great.
So how's the car feeling at the moment?
Oh, look, I mean, anyone will tell you a whole new car this year has definitely caught a lot of people by surprise, and certainly me as well. The main thing for me getting used to is just the extra horsepower, the lack of downforce, you know. These cars have got next to no downforce, so it is difficult. So it's just a matter of sitting the car down and finding a rhythm. And the only thing I've got to do now personally is just get used to getting the tyres, or making the tyres last, and yeah, just sort of making it happen, really.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, mate, the 3 cars that are out there tonight, they all look good in that paint scheme.
Yes.
Anyone you'd like to thank at the moment?
Oh, well, there's actually 4 of us out here tonight. So there's myself, there's Noddy Tompkins in the 80, yep. There's Matty Ray's in the 83, and then you've got Brenton Henderson in the 113. He's usually the 89, so sorry, the 85. So yeah, there's a few of us out here tonight, and we're going all right. Pretty happy with how it's all working. So just a big thanks to all the sponsors, Made of Auckland, the mobile mechanic fella. Sorry, I don't know. I can't remember them off by heart. And S. McClay Mechanical Repairs, and of course SRM as well. So yeah, couldn't do it without all those guys.
Yeah. So strategy for the rest of the race: stay out of trouble, hopefully, and one more stop, mate.
One more stop. Yeah, I've still got a couple of sets of tyres, so I might just mess around a wee bit. But I mean, hey, I'm a lap down now, and I'm not honestly from here on not too bothered about making positions. I'm just happy to sort of still be running and use it as a bit of learning for me and how to deal with the car, especially on these 1.5s as well, because we run a lot of these, so it's a matter of just taking it as a lesson, really.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you can finish your race out, and then on the Orlando for the Cherokee Rose 300 next week. So you're looking forward to that? Another 1.5.
Actually, won't be here next week. Sorry, mate. I'm going on holiday, but I'm excited to miss Atlanta because it's not my favourite track. But I'll definitely be back for the weeks after that. That's for sure.
All right, mate. We'll let you go because the lights are out on the pace car. And thanks for having a chat with us, mate.
Yeah, appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
No worries. I'll drop you back down.
Cheers.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Billy Hickey. Now, where do I put dropping to? It's always an issue when you have a big race channel list in the Discord to try and pull everyone up and down. So again, thanks to Billy there. So the lights are out on the pace car. Now, Matty, is Dyson going to go early or late?
So far, we've seen everybody go early. So I would start mixing it up. I'd go late.
Yeah, I'd be tending to go late myself, and Dyson does tend to hold them late. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I'd be mixing it up to sow the seeds for later on in the race.
Yep. He's
back in the seat.
Welcome back, Steve.
Yeah, so he's gone early. I expected to see Aidan actually go with him there and expect him to jump, but he didn't.
Yeah. Aidan's normally pretty good on the restarts, but he just got caught napping a little bit. Nice move on the outside by Ruben there.
I think he was going to maybe try and second guess what Andrew Dyson was going to do, and he maybe got it wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Ruben Phelps has made a move on Toby for third place, but he hasn't quite got it done yet.
He's going to take him a couple more corners because Kobe's not going to give that up in a hurry. Kobe fights and gets the nose back in front. He's just about a car length ahead of Ruben now.
Yep.
And Ruben loses out on that argument.
Yeah, tyres will come up again, the temp, and Ruben will have another good look at Toby.
So, yeah, sorry I missed on that caution, guys. I don't even know what happened. I came back to the desk and it was already under caution. So,
yeah, Tristan got a little bit loose coming out of. He hit those dreaded bumps out of pit lane, and and it was all over Red Rover.
Much good. No fun for him there.
No.
But what have we got? Dyso first, Schultz second, and Stent third. Very nice.
Sorry, it was Tristan. His car's back out there looking pretty straight.
Maybe just didn't get the damage that he should have.
I think Skurlock ended up with the worst part of that damage.
Sorry, Matt, what was that?
I think Skurlock ended up getting the worst part of that damage. I think for Tristan it was more sort of a side swipe, but Skurly went straight into the wall. Yeah,
Skurly hit hard, so Steve, you missed that one. Skurlo's out of the race for the night.
What a shame. Yeah, no, I came back and I was in the same room but wasn't actually looking at the screen. So I have a very large room. I jokingly call it the penthouse. And it's on the top floor of a rather large, expensive home. And I've got the big room. It actually used to be a home theatre, so you can imagine it's quite a large area. As Aidan Schultz gets loose, and he's loose, and I think is that Phelps?
Yep.
Yeah.
Still green, still green. I would say Ruben is probably stuck there too. I'm just seeing if I can get onto him.
He's no front on that car whatsoever. This might be the end of Ruben Phelps's night.
Wow.
I mean, he'll carry on if he can, but it's going to be there's going to be absolutely no aero on the front of that vehicle.
No, I'll just have a look and see if we can work out what went on there.
I just can't believe there's been
Aidan got
no
loose.
yellow.
So
no yellow because they're off the
he
racing
got a bump.
surface. One of the Sim Black guys has given him a bit of a touch,
I think
and
so.
Aidan's come around. He didn't do it on his own by the looks of it, or
No.
it could even be netcode.
No,
No, there it is. There,
That's a bump, I believe.
yeah, that's a definite bump, and Aidan won't be impressed with that whatsoever.
No.
You can see him trying to catch it. He's fighting it, but the trouble is he's now gotten down in the way of the oncoming vehicles, and he would have caught that if he just had a little bit more space.
I believe there is a caution that's come out. It's not for this, what we're watching. It'll be something else in the background if you want to have a little
Of
bit
course,
of
that's put Ruben straight into those barrels, so he's got major damage on that vehicle.
This
It sounds
chaos
like
going
it may Billy Hickey may be involved in that.
Just having a look at the replay, there was chaos as everybody tried to avoid that first incident. There's cars going everywhere.
So who's that in the infield? Is that Billy Hickey or?
So we'll try and jump. We'll go back live and see if I can find the incident that's brought out.
Stevie
caution.
Williams is slowed. So maybe.
Oh. No, I think it's Billy Hickey because he's up on his roof.
Well, yeah, he's obviously got a seat in the grandstands.
So look what's happening here. Oh, he's got the wall.
Yeah.
It's fishtailing.
Billy's hit the wall.
Cars are
and he's
checking up
come in.
for him.
That's a different thing altogether.
Yep, that's what actually brought out the caution. The incident before with Phelps and Schultz didn't bring out a caution. But this is
what's brought out the caution is him coming across in front of Stephen Williams and whoever that is, and upside down on his roof on the track. So it was just coincidence that Aidan came together with somebody else there.
super slow-mo.
That's poor old Nathan Buttons copped it there. Is that Nathan?
No, Stuart Patterson.
Stuart Patterson, yeah. Heavens above. Well, that's a beauty.
That's a bit of a ride. If you're in VR, you might be having a bit of a spew right now, but yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's really shaking up the top half of the field. Like we got Dyson still out in front. Then we got Andy Barber that's been stayed out of trouble and come up to second place now, and Adam Malone up in the third with Toby Stent and Jamie Nankervis rounding out the five.
So that's shaking things up a little bit.
Oh, I don't know where to start to unpack all of that.
Yeah.
That was
I think we don't try and unpack that. That's a little bit too much going on there.
I think it's not the greatest move in the world to be giving someone a bump or a dump in front of most of the field, because it's only usually going to clean out most of the field behind you. So, but anyway,
what we do have on screen, which we haven't really seen much of tonight, is Paul Plucker Drady. I'll get it right in a minute. Paul Drady sitting here in the 129. Haven't seen a lot of him tonight. He's just sort of been there in amongst everything and keeping out of trouble. But there he is sitting there and currently sitting in fifth place, would you believe? Good on you, Paul Drady.
Yeah, sorry, my information before was a lap behind on what's showing now. So yeah, well done, Paul. He's back into the.
He started fifth and he's still fifth. So he's moved back and forward. Obviously, he hasn't held fifth all night because otherwise we would have spotted him.
No, he's dropped down to the 21st. It's been his lowest point.
Yeah,
down to 21st. He's been up as far as second, and he's had 3 pit stops. He's got a fast lap there of 30.298. So he's been rocking and rolling, just keeping his head down and getting on with the job by the looks of it.
Yeah. I don't know. Can we get a shot of Ed's car because he got involved in that too. He got a tap from the front and the back.
Yeah, we've missed a whole bunch of it. There was just so much going on. We've missed a whole bunch of everything, really.
Yeah.
That is a bit of a mess, the front of that Mustang.
Front and back, yep.
And the back, yeah, look at that. There's no rear on that vehicle. So he won't be impressed with that.
No. Have we still got the lights on the pace car?
Yes, lights are still on.
Yeah, I might see if I can dig down and try and work out what's happened to him.
Looking at that right-hand side there, he's come together with the wall or somebody. Maybe he's hit the wall to avoid an incident and copped one up the rear or something.
No, that last accident with he got checked up. He got into the back of someone, and then someone got into the back of him. So that's caused the damage there.
Well, he's... here we go. What a mess. And there's one guy right in the middle of all that scooted through it. That's Brad Allison. So he's escaped all that.
All right, lights are out.
Ed hit the wall right there. Yeah.
Lights are out on the safety car, so we'll go green this time round.
So we'll quickly just have a look here. Oh, yeah, look how it all checked up and nowhere to go.
Poor old Aidan's just collateral damage and all that.
And there, yeah. So that was all that big incident that was from Aidan.
That was what put Reuben Phelps into the barrels and Aidan into pit row. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was all just part of that. It's how he's picked up that damage.
So, well, what a sad thing to see, because I hope Aidan can recover from that, because he was just quietly making his way through getting the job done, and to just simply be, an innocent victim in the side.
Dyson's gone. He's taken the jump as soon as the race car left the track, he was on the gas. So he's got a nice little lead now out front with Adam Malone and Eddie Barber battling for second.
Dyson's opened up about 5-6 car lengths there, and then Malone, and then there's about another 4 or 5 car lengths back. So yeah, and you've got like a bunch of them. All bunched up, staggered there across the track, trying to actually make their way down, running sort of 2x2, but in staggered formation.
Yeah, what the guys have to be careful here, though, is a little bit of the heat would have gone out of the tyres, and they definitely don't want another caution now.
No, well, that's right. And anybody who's, you need to give these things a couple of laps to get back up to temperature. I mean, you've got to get temperature in the tyres for a start, and then, a little bit of a dab on the brakes here and there just to warm them up and get the car back to temperature. But it's going to take a lap or two to do it. And anybody who pushes before that is likely to cause another incident and bring out another caution. But so far, so good with these guys. They seem to be getting their act together, and they're doing a good job so far. Yeah. But they are still staggered, and there's some side-by-side stuff there, as Edward is side-by-side with, I think that's... I'm just trying to think.
I'll tell you what, that damage on Ed's car hasn't really affected his top speed at that deal. He's still getting up to 175 mile an hour. So
yeah, it was Wayne Van Billion, that's right. That was battling with Edward. He's got a fair bit of damage on the back of that 53 car, but it doesn't seem to be affecting his forward momentum all that much, although he's got a bit of damage there. So Wayne Van Billion seems to be holding a little bit of a gap over him. As we take a look back, Paul Drady is just about all over the back of Jamie Nankervis as they come through the tri-oval.
Jamie's having a good run tonight, and for his sake, I hope I don't curse him. Being a teammate and all, so I'm hoping that he can stay up in that top 20 end of the field and maybe come through and get a win for the team. What else is going on?
Just checking in on Kobe. It looks like he's got a bit of damage on the front there, which is going to cause a bit of an issue for him, unfortunately. He was having a good, strong run.
I'm just looking at
looking at my track notes at the moment. That's all. Just wanting to. So what round of the championship is this?
It's round 13.
13. Okay, I thought it was 14. That's why I was wanting to double check it. I was looking at my track notes.
I'm just looking at Stevie Dubb's car. He's got a little bit of damage on that right front, but he's sitting down in 8th, so don't count him out of it yet. We've still 68 laps to go.
Well, he's making life a little bit difficult for Wayne Van Billion at the moment, so I think that's Wayne Van Billion ahead of him.
Yeah, it is, mate.
Who's managed to hold off Edward Foster, who seems to have dropped right off now, and Stephen Williams has even passed Edward. There's Edward there. He's probably suffering from a little bit of a lack of pace because of that body damage, especially the crumpled front, but that rear, that won't be doing him any favours as far as getting draft from the cars behind him is concerned. Obviously Stephen Williams has been able to actually take advantage of that. As we see Aidan sorted things out, and he's got himself back out there. And I believe he hasn't actually dropped a lap in all that either.
No, he's dropped 3 laps, unfortunately. I was just
Did
thinking
he? Okay.
he's got not too bad of a looking car compared to some of the ones out there, but unfortunately, yeah, he's dropped 3 laps and all of that was going on. And Ruben Phelps is still out there as well. He's on the lead lap still, but it's in the front of that car.
Yeah.
Very, very second hand, unfortunately.
Unfortunately for Aidan, he got when he got spun, he got into the pit lane, so he had no choice but to go through pit lane. So if you've got to travel pit lane, you might as well make a stop.
Yeah, what I'm looking at the moment is Aidan's dropped back to 21st place and 3 laps down. And Ruben is sitting 13th, but still on the lead lap. Amazingly. At least that's what I'm looking at the moment. So
yeah, Aidan might have had some required, and Ruben might have just had optionals.
Well, I don't know whether Ruben actually pitted, did he? I think he just pulled the car back a bit and just kept going.
Yeah, he got back onto the. Yeah, Aidan had to go down the lane.
I think he just hit reverse and then first and just put the foot down and just got back out there. But because of where Aidan ended up, he actually ended up in the pit lane. So I think he's actually stopped, and that's actually put him down a lap or two as the fields rotated around the circuit. So Andrew Dyson continues to lead from Stent and Barber in 3rd. And this is the ASCC Weekend Warriors, brought to you by Custom Paints and Diecasts. I've gotten it right just about every time tonight, I think. Just as a bit of a novelty, normally mess it up. And, look, good day to our little English mate out there who's suffering a little bit. That's Karl. How are you? And hopefully you're watching this and relaxing and you're not in too much pain there, buddy. So take it easy.
Yeah, it'll be good once he gets himself sorted out and he can come back on and get into the booth. He is missed. I know there's a few people that have said that they'd like him back. And I, for one, would like to see him back as quick as he possibly can.
Well, I'd like to see him back because then I can just lay on the bed and watch TV.
Yeah, I could just sit back and just click cameras and overlays.
Yeah. Just looking at the entries here, unfortunately, Michael Skurlock was the only Toyota in the field tonight. So with him going out in that caution, there's no Toyotas represented again now tonight.
It's strange. I wasn't aware of that. Okay, that's an interesting fact. I thought there would be more than that, but that's very strange.
Nah, look, the Chev and the Ford Mustang is well represented in most of the leagues. I think Ann's car's got a few more Toyotas running there, but we've only got a handful of guys that have decided to run with a Toyota this year, so it's unfortunate. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys that have registered with the league and when have decided to go race supercars elsewhere. So that's where most of our our Toyota drivers are.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I'm actually using the Chev for most things at the moment, as far as the trucks and the Xfinity and the Next Gen, purely because of the sponsorship on those vehicles. Because it's for the Canberra Comrec. So it doesn't make sense to have that on Ford or a Toyota. So I put it on a Chev. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Dyson and Toby have got a nice little lead over Andy Barber now, as Andy's dropped back 2 seconds. So...
a nice way to sneak a little plug in there too. There you go. But yes, we.
Well, I'll stick
I'm
a
just
plug
looking
in.
at how this spread out, mate, at the moment. Actually, that's why I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we hope we're in negotiations with someone to come on board for the rest of the season as a sponsor, and they're going to come on board as the naming rights sponsor for Triple Crown if they decide to do it. So that'll be a nice little.
Stay tuned for details, folks.
So we're just waiting on the final confirmation from them, and and then we'll have them up on the website, and you can learn all about the company.
Well, that'll be awesome. Look forward to finding out some more information about that when the time comes, Mark. So big things happening at ASCC Weekend Warriors.
Yeah, and look, I know people say, oh, it's only early in the season. The admin's already started working on next season, starting to get calendars ready. I can tell you though, the
none of those calendars actually, they're not like, Mr. January, Mr. February, anything like that, is it?
No.
Not laid back with a big clover leaf there or something, are you?
No. There's one race, of course, is locked in at Talladega again. It was put to the drivers that they wanted to keep the Anzac Cup at Talladega, so that is definitely locked in. I think it's next year. It's the 23rd of April for the Anzac Cup.
Right, no worries. Oh well, that's some good news.
Yeah, we decided to put it out there for the drivers to see if they wanted to have a change, and it was almost 90% of the drivers said no, leave it at Talladega. So that's where it will stay.
Okay, well that sounds good to me.
Just looking here, it looks like we've got Jamie Nankervis and Adam Malone battling out for third spot, is it?
Or
Fourth.
Fifth,
is it?
Yeah, because I think we've got Dyson, Stent, Barber, and then in front of these guys is, no, he's probably out of position. He's a couple of laps down. I was going to say it's Aidan Schultz, but he's probably still a couple of laps down. So these guys may be battling for fourth, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've got, Dyson leading, Stent second, Grady third, and then I think that's that battle between Adam Malone and is that Reuben Phelps or Jamie Nankervis?
It's Jamie Nankervis, mate. It's the number 8 car.
The number 8 car, so yeah, okay.
So we should see the guys in one more time before the end of this race. I don't think they can make it home on fuel.
Lap 216 of 267. No, they won't get home on fuel from here. Not with that's something like there's going to be, I'd say 2 stops, mate. To be honest, you got what's that?
So at the moment, Dyson's done 45 laps on the stint.
50 laps. We've got 50 laps to go. We've just clicked over 217, so 50 laps to go. There'll be at least one more stop, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably in about 20 laps time, I think.
Yeah, they'll, depending on whether we go green, though you may even see some real short pit stops at the splash and dash, something like that, depending on when they need to take them. With 50 laps to go, if we had a caution now, everybody'd run to the end.
Yeah, definitely. You'd see everyone dive for pit lane. I don't think
Absolutely. I think everybody would go in because they know that that's going to be it. They need to
Yeah.
fill it with fuel. If they've got any tyres left on it, they'll throw them on, and then that'll be the last 50, and they'll just go hammer and tong to the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, Steve, I don't think you'd find anyone brave enough to stay out there if there's a caution now.
I wouldn't think so, mate. It wouldn't be a very bright thing to do. It's been too long since the last caution and since the last round of pit stops. So I'm not sure when the last one was. I think I just came back after a few minutes away in the middle of the caution period. So, yeah, it would be a bit of an ask to get through from this point to the end without a stop.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely wouldn't make it. So it'll be interesting if they do go in on the green. We're looking at this as Matt said. Andrew's done 49 laps. Adam Malone's done 50. Jamie Nankervis has done 40. Toby and Paul have both only done 30 laps on their tyres. Wayne Van Buyen has done 30 and Ed Foster's done 31. So it'll be interesting. Some of those guys are going to be able to run a little bit longer than some of the other guys.
Those distances also put them right smack in the middle of needing to pit somewhere in that last 50 laps. I mean, it may be 10 laps from the end, it may be 20 laps from the end. It depends, yeah. I mean, I'm just looking down the field at who's in the second half. It's quite interesting that the first of the lap down cars, if there's a lucky dog, will be Mark Smith. He's currently sitting 14th, one lap down. Nathan Button also a lap down right behind him. Norman Clark a lap down. Andy Barber a lap down. Brenton Henderson a lap down. And then you go to Stuart Patterson in 19th, who's 3 laps down. And Aidan Schultz 3 down. Justin Allen's 3 down. Brad Allison is 4 down. Tristan Koch is 7 down. Karl Nedler is 35 down. So I think we've got, we've pretty much those guys have actually pulled the plug, I'd say, from about 23rd position onwards. Once you get to 35 laps down and stuff, you could, pretty much, I'm sure that he's not actually running around out there, Karl Nedler. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
So those guys are all gone. Billy Hickey, Brett Campbell, Michael Skurlock, Mark Johansson. No, you're there, actually. Gary Wellman, Dion DeGraff, Darren Mckenzie. So Darren didn't actually venture back out like we thought he would.
He hit the wall fairly hard. It happened right in front of me, and I thought, well, that's his race done because he had a completely front end.
I think you were saying it was 40 minutes of damage or something, so that indicated to me that there was going to be engine damage, and without a vast repair, he was going to struggle from that point on anyway. I just thought he may have come back out and tried to get the minimum required laps to at least pick up some points for the championship, but with 40 minutes in the pits, he's probably just gone and done something and just decided, it doesn't matter, So that's what we're looking at the moment. So pretty much everybody from 24th onwards is done and dusted. So it leaves us 23 cars on the track. Where's Tristo? Yep, he's still circulating. So Tristo in the 550 is sitting in 23rd position at the moment, and he's our back marker at the moment. He's our last car.
So while we've got a bit of a lull, I know Matty won't have this information. I'll just run through the championship points that as they came in the round 13 tonight for everyone out there. So championship leader at the moment is Ruben Phelps on 467 points. Ed Foster sitting in second on 448 points. Stevie Williams sitting in third on 378. Jamie Nankervis is sitting in fourth on 370. Adam Malone sitting in fifth on 352. Norman Clark in 6th on 345. Kobe Jordan in 7th on 327. Wayne Van Bingen sitting in 8th on 324. Justin Allen in 9th on 299. Mark Smith in 10th on 294. Brad Allison in 11th on 277. Adam Ariel, he's not running tonight. He's sitting in 12th on 264. Christian in 13th on 262. And defending champion, Darren Mckenzie, sitting down in 14th on 257 points. And rounding out the top 15 is Scott McClintock. Again, he's not here tonight. He's crook on 254 points. So that's the way the championship standing is coming into this race. And if we have the results that if we finish the race right now, Andrew Dyson is sitting down in 18th at the moment. He's only contested 7 races so far. This is his 8th race, so he will jump a fair few spots. He'll break into the top 15.
Okay. Well, we've just seen. I think it's Tristan Koch has just actually pitted.
Yeah, there's been a number of cars that have started doing that final pit stop to break it up. Riding on board with Foster at the moment because he's flying through. He's one of the ones that stopped and got the fresh tyres for the run to the end. But he's gone one lap down.
Right. Just taking a look at a couple of different things through the field here at the moment. We're on board with Edward Foster at the moment. And he's actually, a lap behind the leader. So in 11th position.
Those fresh tyres certainly make a difference in the speed that you close on drivers.
Matty Ray is on pit road getting four
Yep,
tyres.
just saw Matty pulling into his pit bay then, yep. So that's the number 83 of Matty Raymond. Pulls in, does a green flag pit stop, and that should set him up to the end with 34 laps remaining in this. The Memorial Day race for Weekend Warriors, Australian Stock Car Championship, brought to you by Custom Paints and Diecasts. And streamed on Performance E streaming tonight through YouTube.
Just looking at this, what happened to Jamie? Jamie's dropped 3 laps. Missed that one.
I thought I saw a car in the wall in the pits, so don't know how that's happened, but yeah, I thought I caught a glimpse of it.
I'm just seeing Jamie Nankervis at the moment. He's I think he's just heading past, I think it was Kobe Jordan.
Let's see, I've got an incident here. I'll have a look and see what we can get out of it.
Oh no.
What's that?
Jamie's come into the pits on the brakes hard, and
Yep.
and it's turned him. So yeah, it's
Yep.
Yeah,
Come into the pits too hot and slammed on the brakes, and yeah, he got loose and hit the wall.
Luckily though, Matt, it looks like it's only been a light tap, so, and that'll explain why the front end of the car still looks reasonably clean. But he would have got a penalty for that, and yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 'cause I was going to say, I'm not seeing any damage on him at the moment, that's all.
Yeah,
So,
he might have, most likely probably would have picked up a speeding penalty because he was coming in so fast.
That's such a shame for him. He was sitting up in second spot, second around that top 5, and yeah, unfortunate. So it looks like Nobby is in pit lane, and Brendan Henderson may be in pit lane too.
I'm seeing 2 cars in pit lane. One of them is actually pitted and is leaving. He's exiting the pits now. And we've got another one coming in. I think that's Brad Fenley. Yeah, that'll be Noddy that's just exiting the pits now.
Yeah, and Paul Drady's coming in this lap.
So they're all starting to do their green flag pit stops. Lap 238 of 267, ladies and gentlemen. And hopefully you're enjoying this out there. I'm just going to take a little bit of a look and see what we've got on our chat there at the moment. And what have we got? Good day to Sarah Kay. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Abigail's still in there. That must be Devon Stove. Stovey NZ. How are you, mate?
Race leader Dyson's just coming to the pits. 4-tyre stock by the looks of it. Just have a look and see if Toby Stent's going to react.
Yeah, he's coming in.
Yep, he's in.
Yeah, Michael Skurlock, how are you, mate? That is bad luck, but he was saying it was fun being at the front again. It's been a while since he's felt comfortable in the lead, so yeah, he's probably taken it better than he should. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame, Skurly. As we watch Andrew Dyson pit under green.
So Stent's going to grab 4 tyres as well by the looks of it.
Yeah, it looks like he's taken all 4.
So Stephen Williams will inherit the lead.
As we've got 189 coming into the pits as well. So a lot of green flag pit stops starting to occur with about 27, 28 laps left to run in the Memorial Day Cup for ASCC Weekend Warriors, brought to you by Custom Paints and Diecasts and live through Performance E streaming on YouTube.
So next one we should see in the pits is Stevie Williams and Ruben Phelps. They'll need to definitely pit shortly. Steve's done 49 laps in this stint, so and Ruben's done 48.
Interesting comment here from Sarah Kay, and I've got to agree with her actually, because right now he's sitting in 3rd spot, and that's Andy Barber being the dark horse tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Andy he's a good little peddler. He hasn't done a lot of races this year. He's only done, I don't even think he's done 5 races with us this year.
Yeah, there's also a comment there from Abigail about Ed being annoyed now and looking at the damage in his car over the last several laps. I'd say probably won't be a good time to grab him for a chat. So we've got Steve Williams leading at the moment from Ruben Phelps, who's been threatening to do exactly that and get into the top 1 or 2 all night long. And 3rd, Andy Barber. Great to see Andy up there and putting in the effort. That Warana Goodyear car, that is an absolute mess. Which one is that?
Just on the note on Andy's done 4 races this year, and he's sitting down in 36th position in the championship. So it's good to see him out there and having a good run.
Yeah, he hasn't run as regularly, but family commitments get in the way, and other things keep you busy. So that's easy to have that happen. As we go on board with Andrew Dyson at the moment, car 041, and he's currently sitting in 2nd position behind Stephen Williams. Coming through the tri-oval there at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Oh, no, that's okay. I am a bit behind. Sorry. I'm looking at the wrong screen. I was looking at the YouTube chat, so that's what I could see while I was actually looking at the chat. So that's about a minute or so behind. I think there's a bit of a lag there. So I'm back onto the one I should be looking at now.
I wasn't sure how you got that, how you had got out of sync. So
For a minute there, I actually thought I'd pulled my old trick and I was on replay through my own iRacing, but no, that wasn't the case. I usually actually pull that trick and I'll be talking about what's going on Trak, and it was 10 minutes ago.
So I do believe that Mr. Dyson has just taken the race lead again.
yeah, he's just passed Williams for the the race lead. So I'm just having a little bit of look back to see where Stent is. Stent's in 7th.
If Dyson wins this is tonight, that'll be his second major race win for the year, because he took out the Anzac Cup, so he's already got some silverware on the shelf.
He seems to have a fair bit of pace there at the moment, Andrew Dyson. He's absolutely not mucking around. He's passing cars with great ease at the moment. There doesn't seem to be too much of a drag race going on.
No, definitely, and he's opened up a 7-second gap over Stevie Dubb.
I'll be back in just a sec. I think I need to turn the heater on in the penthouse.
I think, Toby Stent was, before that round of pit stops, Toby Stent was in 2nd, and he's now showing about 9.2 seconds behind. So, 9 seconds to make up over 19 laps. It's a pretty big ask.
Yeah, look, I think maybe Dyso's got this one, unless an unfortunate incident happens and he ends up having an issue with a back marker, or he does like he did on Thursday night and breaks loose himself. But he's looking pretty solid for the win tonight.
Sorry, who's that you're talking about? Andrew Dyson?
Yeah, mate, yeah.
Yeah, Dyson's looking pretty solid there at the moment with 18 laps to go.
Just having a little bit look at that gap with Stent to the leaders, and it's hovering around that 9.1.
And at the same time, it's good to see Stephen Williams at the pointy end there tonight. With 17 laps to go, Stephen Williams sitting in a very comfortable 2nd place ahead of Adam Malone. So another one that's great to see him get up there. He puts in the effort.
Yeah, Stevie though
consistently. Steve's going to need a splash, I think.
Yeah, he's done 49 laps, and same with Ruben.
He's just basically thrown his hands in the air and let 3 cars pass him. So
I'm showing him as 61 laps since he's pitted, so I imagine he'd probably be putting in the next 5 or 6 laps. I just don't see him being able to get home.
Paul Grady's just passed him in the 129 car as well. So, yeah, I'm guessing that he's trying to survive through to a pit stop, but didn't take the chance to go in this time around. So, going to be interesting to see what happens with Stephen Williams, because he was sitting comfortably in 2nd place, and he's just simply lifted the foot and let about 4 or 5 cars by. So, got to imagine it's a fuel issue.
Yeah,
unless it's tyres also.
Yeah, I think he's kind of holding out for a late caution, really.
Yeah, he must be just about running on fumes by now, unless it's a tyre issue and he's not able to put up much of a fight against these other guys who have got fresher rubber on.
Yeah, Steve's a very, very smart driver, so he knows when to fight for positions and when to just let the fast cars through, protect his own car.
Well, the simple fact is, if he goes in this next couple of laps, fuels it up and throws fresh rubber on it, he can go absolutely hammer and tong to the end and get a bit of an edge on some of these other guys who have just passed him, because they've probably got about 10 to 15 laps already on their rubber.
Yeah.
At least. Depending on when each of them stopped, obviously.
Dyso's on lap 16 now of his stint.
Brad Allison's has taken Stephen Williams now as well, and he just made it look dead easy. So again, Stephen Williams has not come in,
Stuart
But-
Patterson's on his way in.
but is bleeding positions everywhere, Stephen Williams. But he's gone past the pit entry about 3 or 4 times since. So I'm not quite sure when he's going to actually make the move to come in.
You might be trying to have a go at it.
Well, I think our pit reporters just dropped down to have a word with him. Actually,
Yeah, I mean the lap pace this time around is showing as maybe 3 seconds a lap off his normal
I thought
pace.
about
so,
doing the same, but didn't want to disturb him.
yeah, he might be trying to see if he
so-
can get home.
So
Okay.
I've just stuck down, had a word.
Yep.
Stevie is fingers crossed that he can make it home with the fuel that he's got. So it is definitely a fuel issue. He's committed to running the way he's been running, and unfortunately, he's got to hope for a caution.
Yeah, a green flag pit stop certainly won't do him any good with 10 or 11 laps to go. And if it's a fuel issue, and if he's got enough to get to the end, but he's got to maintain a set pace, then that would explain what we've just seen. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So he's committed to the way he's running, and there's not a lot he can change. He can't change anything. He's just got to hope that
he's been around long enough. He's been around long enough that he knows, and he would have actually weighed up pitting under green versus just backing it off, lift the foot a little bit, and just try and hang in there. He'll know whether he's got the fuel to get to the end if he just lifts his foot a little bit. But at the same time, you've got to be prepared to give up those positions, which is exactly what he's just done, on the hope and prayer that the guys who have just passed him will need to stop between now and the end, which is only 9 laps away.
Yeah, definitely. But it's kind of sort of been the second half of the race has been the Dyson show, really, when you look at it.
Much, mate. I was just thinking that myself. Dyson continues to lead this from Stent and Malone, and really good to see Adam Malone up there in 3rd place with 8 laps to go, and every chance that if he can maintain this, he'll pick up a podium. While those around him start to struggle for fuel, tyres are getting old, that sort of stuff. Anybody who's actually done a green flag pit stop in the last 10 laps or so is in danger of dropping a lap, which is what I'm seeing from 8th position on there, a lap down. So basically we've got 7 cars in this race at the moment, unless there's a caution and somebody gets their lap back. But we've got Dyson leading from Stent, Malone in 3rd, Drady. So Paul's doing a super job there tonight. Andy Barber in a good position in 5th. Edward Foster still up in 6th place. Matt Raymond, and that's the last of the guys on the lead lap. That's the top 7. Then you've from 8th place onwards, a lap down for Von Billion, Noddy Tompkins, and Stephen Williams inside the top 10, but a lap down. So
yeah, just looking back over the stats for the year, Adam's Adam has done a fairly good job this season. He's already had 1 race win this year, so he's definitely come on a long way from last season.
I mean, I'm not really one to talk because I probably raced the way Adam used to, which was, go hard or go home. But he really seems to have come along and grown with a bit more patience, if you know what I mean. For instance, Thursday night in the NSCAR Cup, we were all over him, about what a good drive he was having. 80 laps on the first set of tyres and fuel sort of thing. And he's just been smooth and clean and consistent tonight, and it's gotten him up with a real chance with 4 laps to go, still under green, and we've got Adam Malone sitting in third place. So there's a real chance of him getting a podium here with only 3 laps to go now.
Yeah, definitely. He's doing the last couple of rounds. He's been really consistent, just nice and steady racing. But yeah, he's come a long way, you know.
Well, one thing I think is pretty good to see is actually Dyson at the front with the front of the car still intact.
Yeah.
Thursday night that wasn't the case. I mean, he managed to bring it home 5th after he had a coming together with Justin Witcher in the Anscar Cup, and just wrote the front of the car off, but somehow managed to recover from it and sit 5th out of that final caution to go to a green-white checker. And tonight here he is sitting at the front, leading this one, and he's got 2 laps to go to take victory in this, as we see Stevie Williams circulating there, and I think he's still not pitted.
No, he had to pit.
He did pit? Okay.
Yeah, looks like he had to pit and grab some fuel.
Yeah, he
Just
probably
dropped him
tried
way
to
down.
stretch it out, but then realised he just was probably going to fall a couple of laps short, unfortunately. But, yeah, Dyson leads this, and barring anything that happens, we are on the final lap, and it's looking like Andrew Dyson's going to take victory in the Memorial Cup tonight. And there he goes, takes the checkered flag. So Andrew Dyson takes the win in the 2022 ASCC Weekend Warriors Memorial Cup, with Stent second, and Malone has come home in a great 3rd place. The unfortunate one tonight was Darren Mckenzie early, getting loose, putting it into the wall and copping 40 minutes worth of damage, and not in the end not being able to rejoin. So that just sat in the pit bay there for the duration, as Andrew Dyson looks like he's going to do the burnout. He's just got to pick his spot. There we go.
Over the logo. Well, is he going to do a burnout, or is he...
He's going to park it for a screenshot.
No, there he goes.
There he goes. He wants to do the burnout over the start-finish line. That's the deal. Yeah, good on you, Andrew. Come on, mate. You going to light it? Light the candle. Nope, he's done. That's it.
He's done, yep. Well, what a round, eh? 4 cautions and great racing by the guys.
Fantastic stuff. 267 laps. No green-white checker tonight. And, hardly any cautions. So we had a lot of green flag racing, several green flag pit stops, as Andrew Dyson takes the win for the simrigs.com DPR team. Second place, Toby Stent. Third, Adam Malone rounds out our podium. So we'll get to speak to those 3 shortly. Paul Drady, great to see Paul come home in 4th position. Edward Foster made the top 5 for Natari Autosport. Andy Barber, great to see him inside the top 10 in 6th place. Matt Raymond, 7th. Wayne Van Billion, after all that went on tonight, has brought it home in 8th. Noddy Tompkins, 9th. And Kobe Jordan, 10th place, 1 lap down. We got Brad Fenley in 11th. Reuben Phelps, 12th. 13th was Nathan Button. Norman Clark brought it home 14th in the end. Mark Smith, 15th after challenging early. Jamie Nankervis, 16th. Stephen Williams, 17th. Brenton Henderson, 18th. Aidan Schultz with a handful of problems again tonight, and 19th position. Stuart Patterson just rounds out the top 20 and just sneaks in there for Iridium Sim Sports. 21st position is Brad Allison. After having a reasonable start, and then just a few things didn't quite go his way tonight. And Justin Allen, 22nd. Tristan Koch managed to get it home in 23rd. Karl Nedler, 24th. Billy Hickey, 25th. Brett Campbell, 26th. Michael Skurlock, 27th, after leading a big chunk of the race early. Mark Johansson, my commentary partner here at the moment, brought it home 28th. Gary Wellman, 29th. Dion de Graaf, 30th, and 195 laps down. Darren Mckenzie, 263 laps down in 31st place after that early incident where he got loose and introduced it to the outside wall. So that's your field for the night. And what we'll do is get either Mark or Matt to bring up our third place getter. So Adam Malone.
Yeah, so, sorry. I'm just trying to get the results uploaded. So we'll pull up Adam Malone. And welcome, Adam. Great race tonight. Great finish. Third place, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. I was just really trying to stay out of trouble and keep it clean.
Yeah, it seemed like you just, for a little while there, you were driving to a lap number. Was that the fact, or you just really nursing it and, as you said, staying out of trouble?
Yeah, just nursing it, just staying out of trouble and trying to keep a 0x, which I got.
Oh, that's good, mate. That's a bonus point or two for you tonight.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that.
You've had a good run the last couple of nights, mate. I mean, Thursday in the Ainscar Cup, we had a big. You were a big part of the coverage when we were watching. You got like 80 laps in on that first fuel run or whatever it was, but the rest of the race didn't quite sort of work out for you. Tonight's obviously been the opposite. I mean, you've just persevered through the field, and at the right time of the night, you were at the pointy end. So that was a great drive.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Yeah, like you said, mate, I was just nursing it, mate. I'm just speechless at the moment.
That's all right, mate. So third place is a good haul of points in the championship for you as well. I can't recall. Does somebody remind me where Adam's sitting in the championship at the moment?
I'm just bringing that up at the moment, mate. After tonight's result,
you didn't lead any laps, mate. But your highest position was second. You started from 21st, dropped back to 26th at one point, and I think 18 positional changes for third place at the end. So look, it all winds up in the wash and comes out the way it needs to come out, and it certainly worked out that way for you tonight by just being patient and stroking it home and getting there in the end.
Yeah, exactly. I was just trying to be as patient as I could, get into the pits as smoothly as I could, and I think it all came down to the pit stops, really. Just
Well, the fact that you had 0 X's and incidents, I think that pretty much says it all about the way you drove the car tonight. It was obviously clean and smooth, kept it out of trouble, and brought it home in third place for a good haul of points. And third in the Memorial Cup is got to be something that'll make you happy for a couple of days. It was a good drive, and you got the good result that you needed.
Yeah. I rubbed shoulders with a couple of people, but still got 0x. Which was surprising, but yeah, pretty stoked with 3.
You want to give anybody a shout out while we got you, mate?
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Sky Point, Mishi XL Garage, Tiona Holiday Park, and the Southern Esports team.
Excellent stuff. It's a good. So how are things going with the team there? Everything seems to be going nicely, and the team's picking up spots here and there and making themselves obvious through just about every race. So yeah, good bunch of guys there and very capable from what we've seen.
Yeah, good bunch of boys. We all respect each other and we all chuck our opinion in, and yeah.
All right, no worries. Thanks for chatting with us. Third place, Adam Malone. And he'll be pretty happy with that, and probably won't be able to get the smile off his face for the next couple of days, I'd say, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. Well done, Adam. And on to Atlanta next week for the Cherokee Rose 300.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
All right, mate. Well done, and thanks for joining us here tonight in the booth.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks.
All right, we'll pull up Toby Stent, our second place getter. really coming on strong in the season. Welcome to the booth, Toby, and well done on second place tonight, mate.
Oh, hey guys. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. A bit of a surprise. I didn't expect to be P2 in the end, but I'll take it. I just want to take this chance while I'm on here to apologize again to Aidan. I got into him a little bit there. I think he checked up as I was getting in the throttle and caused a bit of a mess up. So yeah, sorry about that again, Aidan.
I'm quite sure Aidan will understand. It's racing and things do happen. So you kind of sort of just sat there. You started in sixth and never really dropped down outside the. Oh yeah, you dropped down to 16th and worked your way back up to second. So that's pretty good.
Thanks, Mark. I was surprised with my pace once it got a bit colder, I guess. I probably screwed up. I was right on Andrew in the last 50 odd laps, and I decided in my infinite wisdom I'd try and save the fuel I needed to make it. And then once I dropped back far from him, I realized it's probably not going to work. So I probably should have just stuck with it and passed him and just seen where it got me. But that is what it is. P2 is really cool, so I'm super happy with that.
Well, as a matter of fact, you led the race for 4 laps, mate.
Yeah. No, exactly. It was a surprise, but no, it was really good, and I had some really, really good hard races. Everyone was really fair, and I was having a really good a good race there with Aidan, and so yeah, again, I'm super bummed that I got into him. I really didn't want to, and it's one of those things. But I just feel stink because when guys race you hard and fair, and you want to race them back that way, it's just the worst when that happens. So.
Yeah. Well, usual thing before we let you go, mate. Love to sponsors and helpers in the team.
Oh, yep. No, just a huge thanks to the Simblacks guys mainly. I'm pretty new with the Simblacks boys, but they've all been awesome. It's a great team, and I'm loving driving with them. And a big thanks to Wayne and Karl and Justin and VSK who were in the chat with us all racing tonight and having a good time. So yeah, that was really cool. Thank you.
Just one quick question before you go, mate. Sorry.
Mate.
Because for those who are not familiar with the Simblacks team,
yeah,
are you guys all Kiwis or?
Yep, no, we are. We are all Kiwis. It's a Kiwi-based team. I actually live in Japan, but I am originally a Kiwi. But yeah, no, we're all Kiwi
I
team.
would guess, mate, because you pronounce your valves correctly. So.
Yeah. No, I've been in Japan 10 years now, so my accent's waned a little bit. But yeah, so we're a Kiwi team, all Kiwi, and like we were racing tonight. I'd like to race hard and fair and have a good run with everyone and just try and enjoy it.
Yeah, well, there was a short period there tonight where yourself and the car 20 was a Simblacks team. One of your teammates there just running nose to tail for a while there. About early to about a third of the way through the race. You lap after lap, just you and the 20 car just running around there and getting the team on the coverage. So that all works out really good. So congrats again for the second spot tonight. Well driven and well done. And we'll see you back next week.
Awesome. Yep. No, I'll be back next week. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks, for your time, Toby.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll pull up our when I get it right. We'll pull up our race winner. His second major race win for the season. As I said earlier, the winner of the Anzac Cup and back-to-back major wins. Well done, Andrew, on the race win.
Hey guys, thanks, mate. Yeah, great to see you again.
Yeah, well done, Dyson. Congrats, mate. Well done.
Thanks for that.
So, Andrew, were we saving fuel anywhere through the race, saving tyres, or was it just all out? Because in the first half, you just seemed to be sitting back and relaxing and dropped back down as low as 21st and just worked your way back through the second half and for the win.
Well, yeah, first half of the race was a fair bit of riding going on, but at the same time, Skirley was flying there, man. He had the BMX Bandits Camry on rails tonight, so he was flying along, and he had a pretty good pit crew too over mine. So he was doing a good job. Ed was flying. So yeah, although we probably weren't all going 100%, like everyone had the pace there for sure. So then we all pitted. Yeah, obviously, like you said, we all dropped back, came back through the pack a little bit. Some cautions came out, and unfortunately, I think Aidan Schultz got caught up in some of those cautions. So the awesome racing we were having kind of came to an end at that point, which was a shame. But still had some good racing later on with Toby, Aidan, a couple other guys. It was good.
Yeah, Skirlo was unlucky. He was in the wrong time at the wrong place at the wrong time. Got caught up with Tristan coming out of the pit lane and getting on those bumps and getting on the gas and just turned him. Just couldn't avoid it.
Yeah, I had the best view in the house, or the scariest view in the house, you might say, because I was right behind Skirly, and I couldn't actually see where the car that was out of control was going. I was just kind of following Skirly and slowing down and thinking, oh, okay, I've got to get ready to get back on the gas, because as soon as I look like I'm about to go past him, I need to hit the throttle. And then he just suddenly appeared again, right in front of through a gap, like right in front of Skirly, and yeah, I thought I was going to get involved in that, but.
Yeah, we said at that time that you were lucky to avoid it. So yeah, no issues with tyres. How was your tyre wear through the night?
Oh, the right front copped it. I think everyone would have found the same thing with that set tonight. Pretty safe to drive. Really smashed the right front off it if you weren't super careful. But I think no matter what you did, it was always going to wear the right front more than anything. But other than that, it was all good.
A little bit of a difference coming from the open sets on Thursday night into the fixed sets tonight, the same track.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The setups that we had the other night wasn't super flash. Obviously, pretty fast, but pretty lethal. If you weren't absolutely on the money with it, the setup that we had anyway on the Thursday night league race.
Yeah. Tonight at the same track, you would have felt the difference in the car, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a massive change. So had to change technique a little bit, different lines and things, but same for everybody. So.
Well, you started fourth, finished first, led 87 laps with 3 pit stops. So 3 pit stops over 267 laps. That's a bit of an achievement, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't realise that. That's pretty cool, mate. No,
there was more than that, but that's just the stats error from the overlay system, that one, unfortunately.
Okay, then, so the stats fell over. All right, no worries. Yes, I was going to say the 200 laps on Thursday in the NSCAR Cup, most guys did 4 stops. So, yeah, it surprised me a little bit. But, yeah. But you did manage to drop back as far as 21st at one point, probably through pit stops. But you've had a fairly consistent night. You're pretty much where you needed to be most of the night. Is that how you sort of saw it, or...?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in any race like this where the racing's so close quarters, the closer you are to the front, the safer you are. So if you can be up there for as long as you can, then that's great. Sometimes you take a risk and go with track position on older tyres and it doesn't pay off. But tonight it kind of worked out okay. I was able to hang on for a while there with the older tyres and it kept me out of the danger zone, which was the main important thing.
No worries. Go for it, mate. Do the shout out.
I was just going to say, mate, the Anzac Cup, you've got that now. You've got another trophy coming your way, the same size as that one. You're going to have to start clearing out a bit of shelf space, and we've still got one more major trophy up for grabs this year, and the Triple Crown. So that's the second half of the season. So you're hoping to get all 3 major trophies this year?
No, it's not the first thing that's on my mind when I roll up to races. I just want to roll up and do the best I can and have a bit of fun along the way, and just have some fair income racing. But yeah, I got to be honest, I don't have a dedicated.
Now.
yeah, you got me thinking. I probably will. It'll throw me off. But yeah, I don't have any space for trophies, mate. So I'm going to have to come up with something. I'm not really a trophy guy. I don't get a whole heap of them all the time, but it's cool to get a couple, man, and I really appreciate it. Obviously, these races are pretty massive to this league, and I realise the importance of it, and it's great just to be a part of it and come in and have some real good racing with a lot of fast guys.
No, shop them onto the car, mate. You'll be right.
I was just going to say I'll just keep it and put it in my trophy cabinet if you don't want it.
He never said he didn't want it. He said he had nowhere to put it.
You put me on the spot now. I mean, I'd love it to at least take a photo and send to the boys or something. But I mean, I can send it back to you.
No. Look, I'll get it in the post on Monday afternoon for you. Just before we let you go, mate. Again, congratulations, and anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, for sure. I thank all the guys that put Weekend Warriors ASCC together. Australian Stock Car Championship, Custom Paints and Diecasts that get behind the series. We really appreciate that. Big shout out to Matt from Performance eStreaming tonight for putting on the broadcast. That's pretty awesome of him to come in and get this happening pretty last minute. So thanks a lot for that. Thanks to all the guys that showed up tonight. And I'll just make a little shout out to Simrix.com, South Bay Lifts and Hoists, Phoenix Smokers, MP Designs and Max Mechanical.
Yeah, thanks very much, mate, and congratulations again on another great race win. Atlanta next week.
Yeah, Atlanta. Gee, I think the last time a race there would have been in the Thursday Night League. I reckon it would have been. Can't remember how it went, but I think it went all right. So see how we go.
They see keeping the front on the car actually gets you that extra 4 or 5 spots, Andrew.
The front end on the car, yeah, it does. It does, yeah. Oh, gee, tell you what, that was bloody disastrous from that. I'm surprised I didn't take out more cars in that one, but I was mostly sorry to Justin because he was having a really good race and he was absolutely solid that night. And yeah, honestly, he probably would have come out and come out of that little battle that we had there in
That
third
was
or
just
second.
purely two guys battling hard over a position. I mean, you were both battling for third.
Yeah,
and it's just one of those things that happened, unfortunately, and it was sad to see for both of you. But worse more so for Justin because he managed to actually put it into the inside wall at the pit exit. While you continued on across the grass and stuff, but with no nose on the car, and you still brought it home 5th. So you recovered from that pretty quickly, and then the win tonight. So you've had a pretty good couple of days, mate.
Yeah, apart from that moment, and Dougie was involved in that one too. So it was a 3-way fight there. Can't forget about Dougie being all in that one. So it was a really, really, really tough one for quite a while there. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, it's been a pretty good couple of nights at Charlotte. I always say Charlotte's really difficult. It's a lot more narrow than you think it is, and the lines you can take around here is pretty much only a car wide in every corner. So there's no real room to move around a whole lot. So when you put moves on, it's pretty, ballsy.
Well,
and
your head's really got to be in and around here. I was, like normally I like running here, and especially different kinds of cars and stuff. I'm in the trucks and the 87s. But I was here Wednesday night for the Ants Car Thunder. I'll get it out in a minute. And I just had a shocker. Like about every second lap, I was just clouting that wall coming out of turn 4. So my head just wasn't in it. And to see you guys actually, do what you did tonight with very few yellow periods, it was just great to see. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's full credit to everybody because, yeah, like you said, coming out of turn 4 and a couple of the spots, this track is super narrow and far more narrow than I think a lot of people really give it credit for. And I certainly always forget how narrow it is every time we come to this track. So, yeah, really great job for everyone to only go with so little cautions.
No worries. Well, Andrew Dyson, congratulations. First place, winner of the ASCC Weekend Warriors Memorial Cup. Sponsored by Custom Paints and Diecasts. So congratulations, mate. Well done on the victory with that. So that's two major events so far this year, and let's see how we go for the remainder of the season then.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I just remembered too. It's awesome to keep this one in-house at the team because Stevie won it last year, so we've got it again. I'll make a shout out to Stevie. Good job last year, and we got it again. So thanks, man.
Yeah.
Oh, no worries.
All right, thanks for your time, Andrew, and again, congratulations. And
just before he goes, so it's Matt here, Andrew. Good drive, bro.
Yeah.
Good drive, bro.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Good one.
Sorry, mate, we forget you there behind the control panel, pushing the buttons.
That's all right. I've just been waiting for a chance just to say good drive, bro.
Yeah. All right. Thanks very much, Andrew. We're joined also here in the box by none other than Mr. Foster. Ed, very hard night at the office for you tonight.
Yeah, like pushing shit uphill with a hot needle, mate.
Mate, it was very unfortunate to get tangled up in that last or second last caution.
Yeah, look, It happens, doesn't it? You know, like managed to. I mean, screwed up qualifying, which chucked us on the back foot from the beginning. So I had to start like back in 24th or whatever. And a lot of guys, like, you know, pretty sensible at the start. You know, they weren't fighting too hard, but you just kind of had to, like, they were driving hard. They just weren't fighting that hard. So you just had to take your time, picking your way past them. And yeah, I was in no rush. There's plenty of laps. So I managed to sort of pick the way towards the front, got up there into P3. And then by the time I got there, I just found that I didn't really have the long run pace of either Skirley or Dyson. I could kind of gain on Dyson a little bit some laps and then kind of drop off a little bit. It was kind of just sort of staying around about that sort of 1 second. Skurlock was real quick. You know, he was ridiculous. So I didn't have much hope of catching him. But then
I was going to say, if he kept going the way he was, I think we were going to have to take a fuel sample off him.
Yeah, man, he was flying. So
Drug test him, yeah.
And then with around about a 100 laps to go or something, it was looking like it might stay green. So I was sort of thinking, all right, well, I'll take a gamble, forget it. You know, I could drive home in a safe third, or I could, you know, maybe roll the dice and see if we could pick up the win. So dived in the pits, thinking, oh, yeah, you know, I'll pit again, 50 to go and get home. And then, of course, as soon as I come off pit road and gone a lap down, what happens? Caution comes out.
Yeah.
So that trapped us down, took the wave around, came back, and then had to come through the field again. So did that again, came back through, and I was just sort of, I think it was about P6 or something like that, and the two boys in front got ahead. I don't even really know who it was, but there was a wreck in front, and I was trying to, I think I clipped the back of Matty Ray, just trying to get around him, and bounced off the wall, and yeah, the car wasn't great. I couldn't get all the repairs done after that. So I think I still had about 20 seconds on it, but it didn't have the straight line speed, and it started to get a fairly bad push in it after a while, just because it didn't have that front aero anymore.
Well, it didn't have any rear aero either.
Yeah, no, it didn't have a lot of anything. So, and I got up to, like, I let a couple of cars by, and then I got up behind Van Billion at the end, and, you know, he was quick on the straights, obviously, because I had the damage, but he was pretty slow in the corners. So I was kind of like, all right, well, forget it. I need to make another stop anyway. So went down, top off the fuel, took 2 tyres, tried to leapfrog him that way. That worked. And then it was just a case of trying not to lose too many spots when the other guys on fresher tyres started to come through. So at the end of the day, P5, all right, that's okay. You know, it's just a lot of ups and downs and a fairly sort of middling result at the end of it. So, yeah, no, it's all right.
Mate, it's points, and you've got you finishing 5th. You've grabbed a fistful of points towards the championship, and that's probably, after the night you've had, that's probably as big a surprise to you as anything else.
Yeah, look, I haven't even really been keeping too much of an eye on that, but like, I mean, I'm not even sure that I might not be messing around later on or something like that. So, you know, and that'll of course drop me down again. So, yeah, look, if I manage to make it every week, then fantastic. You know, we'll keep our eyes on that. But yeah, look, I mean, it's only May, isn't it? So yeah, we'll just keep plugging along.
Yep.
Yeah, I can tell you, Ed, that you're only now, after tonight's race, you're only now 14 points behind Ruben. So the gap is coming back between the two of you. So you know, you just never know. As you said, it's only May, so still another 20-something weeks to go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean, the year's flying by, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, it's still only sort of mid-year, and 14 points isn't a lot. But you know, it's just, you know, we just show up and compete every week. You know, you don't have to. Yeah, there's a lot of focus on the championship and everything like that, but at the end of the day, it's not the most important thing. I mean, there are guys out there, you know, even in real life, you know, Mark Martin never won a title, Dale Jr. never won a title, Greg Murphy never won a title, and Sterling Moss never won one. You know, loads of guys like that. So I don't think that. Yes, there's a lot of focus on the title, the points race, and the champion, but you know, it certainly doesn't mean that the rest of the the people who come second and back at the end of the year haven't had a successful year. You know, there are loads of different ways to define success for each individual person, and so you know, it's not it's not the be all and end all, certainly.
No, definitely not. I mean to say it's there's a lot of guys here this year that have stepped up, and you probably have seen it yourself compared to a few races that you did with us last year to the competition here this year, and then again when you step up to Ant's car, you get a different level of competition. But I think with a lot of the Ant's car guys coming back and running back here, it's improved the fields here.
Well, I mean, it's always the case that you want to race against the best possible people that you can, and that will always help you improve. So, I'd prefer to come last in the World Championship than I would, win.
There's probably a couple of exceptions to that rule, mate. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but yeah, winning a second split or something like that. I always want to race against the best people I can, and definitely having some of the top guys around jumping into multiple series is definitely helping the guys who are willing to pay attention to actually improve their own game, their own racecraft, and everything else. And it's sort of rising. When we started out this thing, when I first came onto iRacing, you couldn't even get an oval race anywhere except on the weekends. You jump into an official one, and then when all the leagues started up, we had maybe one or two or possibly three guys that actually got what it was all about, and the rest of us, myself included, were just kind of bouncing off stuff and diving too hard into the corners and spinning out and all that kind of thing. So as time's gone on, we've actually got a really solid group now of pretty good oval racers that could hold their own just about anywhere.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got to be honest with you, mate, because you know very well that I actually run a couple of US-based series during the week, midday, 11 o'clock, sort of 11 a.m. sort of stuff. And I can tell you, I'd love to see some of our guys in that field with them, some of the guys who, as you say, the cream rises to the top sort of stuff. So, like yourself and Micklemore and Jason Martin and Dyson and some of these guys taking it up to the Yanks. I mean, to be perfectly honest, if I could actually work up the enthusiasm, I'd love to put together an Australia versus USA race at somewhere like Michigan or something like that, and see what we can do with it. But just the way it improves here with the Australian communities, both with ASCC and ANSCAR and that sort of stuff. It is racing against these guys is the best way to improve. So I mean, I'm no Jeff Gordon or anything, but the fact is that I get better by racing against these guys and learning from them. I mean, I've been doing this 15 years and I'm still learning.
Yeah, I mean, there's a solid foundation there now, as there wasn't 5 years ago or whatever. So yeah, I mean, there's a really good sort of core group of guys, and that sort of gives what it's almost like when one person maybe gets up and starts dancing somewhere, and then somebody joins them, and then before long 4 or 5 people have joined them, and then almost everybody sort of got up and got involved. Like it's sort of the same thing, lots of people are now in there, and that encourages yet more people to jump in.
Well,
So,
it comes down to having the people that have got the nous and what it takes to actually run a league properly as well.
Well,
I mean, there's plenty have tried and plenty have failed.
Yeah, look, they have. But, a lot of the ones that you've got, if you're going to do something like this, I mean, everybody knows you've got to make it your full focus.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot that sort of goes in, and, Mark knows all too well that you have an issue of protecting the quality of the racing that you don't necessarily have when you're running a road course-based league. Because, of course, if somebody crashes in our racing, it brings the whole field under caution. And so you can't afford to be having guys that can't get around the track or whatever. Whereas on a road-based thing, they just sort of stay at the back. And if they run off into the gravel, they run off into the gravel. So it's a difficult balance to get right, to make it accessible enough to bring new people along and give them the space to grow and learn and everything else. and as well at the same time protect the quality of the racing and make sure that you're getting lots of green flag laps and side-by-side battles and those kind of things. So, yeah, look, it's definitely a balancing act, but the oval scene in our region's really healthy. It really is. So stock cars is. I'd like to see the short track scene grow a little bit with sort of the modifieds and the late models and stuff. I love that kind of racing, but yeah, I guess that'd be sort of the next step to really get it complete over here, is to get a nice short track scene going as well. I think it'd be fantastic.
I'd like to see more guys maybe get some interest in stuff like the modifieds around, the half mile and 600 metre tracks. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Have you two been breaking into my computer?
Mate, look, I broke into your computer once and I saw some really disturbing things. So I haven't done it again.
Mate, well, I was just going to say, next year we're going to be spoiled for oval track racing. We've got the Anscar trucks hopefully back on the Monday night. Then the Xfinity cars on Wednesday night. Then, of course, Anscar on Thursday night. And I've been toying with an idea. I haven't spoken to you. You know, I've been talking to you about the 87s for next year, the 87 Masters. That's going to go to a Sunday afternoon. Then we're going to be back again next year, definitely, with Weekend Warriors ASCC. And I've been toying with the idea on a Friday night for the wheelers. So, you know,
I'm not even going to mention the idea I've been having the last few days.
So
let's not make everything public straight away, boys. Let's sit on it a little bit.
Yeah, so that's all I was going to say.
I don't mind announcing it if somebody else wants to run it.
Nah, that's not the way it works, champ.
So we do have a lot of things in the pipe works, and look, I can only see the leagues, the two leagues getting stronger and stronger, and with the level of racing going up here, it's two different types of racing. You've really got to put your mind into these races with such long races.
The biggest issue these days, and it's look with what Edward goes on with what Edward was saying before about, at first it used to be you'd have to wait for the weekend for there to be a decent NASCAR race. Now, anybody who actually wants to run a race can't find a night because there's always something on. So the Australian, New Zealand community, as far as NASCAR is concerned, has really obviously grown over the last few years, because when you've got something on every night of the week, you start to have to look at Sunday afternoons and stuff like that to run a race, so that's Saturday night in the US, and you try and get some of those guys into it and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, with Anscar trucks on Monday, Anscar, the Thunder Xfinity on Wednesday, Cup cars on Thursday, this one on Saturday. You've got the stuff for Sky Point on Tuesday and Friday. So where do you actually run something that doesn't step on somebody's toes or even hurt your league because people are already involved in something else? So it just makes it difficult if somebody gets an idea and goes, well, okay, I want to run a league to do that. It's at the point now where, opposite to what you were saying when it first started out, you can't find a night because there's something on every night.
Well, I mean, it's a good problem to have, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
An oval race, as somebody who likes this can find a race any night of the week to jump in and do. Now, if, say, for example, somebody wanted to run something on the same night as somebody else, there's no problem with that. They could say if they wanted to run let's say a short track modified series or something like that on a Thursday night, okay, Anscar Cup's on that night, no problems. But there may be some people that don't like driving the Cup car. They might not be interested in that, but they might, that this is the thing. People, and quite often leagues will see themselves in competition with one another, and that's not the right way to do it. You don't want to be the only show in town.
No, that's it, and that's the thing that people said to me when I first started this. Oh, you're going to compete with Anscar? No, I'm not interested in competing with Anscar. I want to work with Anscar, and make both leagues great places to come race.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
pretty
that's what's
much.
happened.
Pretty much
and that's right.
7 nights a week. It's 7 nights a week because we've got the Australasian Ecast Supercar E Series on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Which is an all oval series this season. I think last year they had a couple of road courses, but so you've got that on Sunday. So it gets a bit tight on time, and it's a good problem to have, as you said, because it just means that it's a healthy community.
And what's the worst thing that can come out of it? Instead of having one great race to take part in on a night, they've got a choice of two.
Yeah, that's
how's
right.
that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing,
And then there's ATR. So you've got Oz Team on, like Friday nights and Wednesday nights.
Yep.
We're spoiled for choice nowadays, and it's a good problem to have. But at the same time, I mean, I'd like to also support the ATR guys at some point. But if I'm running in the Thunder on a Wednesday night, it makes it a little bit difficult because, and this is why Full Throttle actually started doing their Sunday night stuff at 8:30, so that anybody who didn't get in to run in the NASCAR Cup races on Thursday night could jump over, and we didn't open the server till 8:30 at Full Throttle. So stuff like that is where you really need if you want to actually add anything to the already pretty chock-a-block calendar.
Team Racing, they're running a super late model series on Friday nights at the moment. I did one round of that, and I've been busy every other Friday night, so I haven't managed to jump into that. But when I get time, I jump into that. It's always good fun, and it doesn't pull massive numbers, but the guys that are there are good to race with. And on a short track like that, you don't need huge numbers. You can just
definitely not. Well, I'm gonna say, well, it's been great. Again,
somebody give
great.
Matt a nudge. He's fallen asleep.
Yeah, great recovery from you tonight, Ed, to get back up in the fifth.
Thank you.
I know there's a couple of other guys sitting there in the green room, but unfortunately we're going to have to cut it short and leave it here with Ed.
I don't think anyone could accuse us of cutting this short.
I was just going to say, we should party crash the Locked On Lads podcast one night or something and make it about a 4-hour show.
I'm just thinking of poor Matt over there in New Zealand. It's coming on 1 a.m. there. So I mean to say, I don't want to keep him up. He's been great jumping in and giving us a hand tonight while our regular broadcaster hasn't been able to broadcast for us. A great job. Always happy working with Matt. So yeah, it's been great. And thank you, Matt.
You are still with us, eh, buddy?
Yeah, I'm still here.
So on that note, I'm gonna wrap things up. Thanks to everyone that's still with us and that has tuned in tonight.
Starting to become a podcast of its own now.
Yeah, thanks very much, Steve, for jumping in at late minute today.
All good, mate. All good.
And Matt, thank you again. A very big thank you from the admin team here at Weekend Warriors. And hopefully we can work with you guys again. Now, just quickly, what's coming up? Ed, Anscar Trucks on Monday night. Where are we?
Idea.
I think. I tell you the truth, mate. I think it's back here at Charlotte.
Oh, excellent. That's what we need. More Charlotte. Yeah, fantastic.
Good. Yeah.
Then Wednesday night. The Anscar Thunder Series is on.
Belle Isle, Detroit.
Oh, I was thinking I might even have.
I know you've been waiting for that one, Ed.
I have. Yeah. Really looking forward to it. I don't know how. Done a few practice laps. Not sure how quick I'm going to be. It's a bit average, but I'm going to be there. I'm going to enjoy it.
I think I might jump in and have a run at that.
I'm looking forward to the car park on turn 2 of lap 1.
Then next Thursday night again, back with the Anscar Cup Series. Where are they next week, Ed? Do you know offhand? Or
I believe it is the Nashville Super Speedway off the top of my head.
Okay.
No, I think it's Gateway.
Oh, it is Gateway.
No,
I always get those two mixed up.
Gateway.
I
Worldwide.
remember us discussing that after Thursday, at the end of Thursday night. And I was saying about how coming out, there's a little bit of wall that juts out coming out of turn 1 or somewhere, and I'm on first name basis with it.
Oh, mate, look, if there's a bit of wall out there, you'll find it. I know you will.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yes,
And then-
Gateway, definitely.
So that's Thursday night, and then next Saturday night we're back with Atlanta, the Cherokee Rose 300. So back to our standard 300-mile races. So that's 195 laps around Atlanta, and I know Ed's looking forward to that.
I am actually. I love Atlanta. I'm not good there. I'm actually pretty rubbish there, but I do like the track. So
I'm with you, mate. Atlanta, Michigan, those sort of places, I enjoy running at them. I'll never say I've ever had any real success there, though.
And of course, the 87 Masters, the Quad League Championship, is at Sonoma.
yeah, that'll be fun. Those cars are wicked on road courses. Love it.
So, so from the team here tonight, again, big thanks Steve and Matt. Thanks Ed for joining us in the booth at the last little bit of the broadcast. We hope to see you all back tuning in for here on
Performance
where are we?
E-streaming,
Performance
Performance
East.
E-streaming.
It's
Next,
locked on, lads, for the Thunder on Wednesday, and then back to Performance E-streaming on Thursday night.
Thursday night, yep. So
And Mad Dog racing throughout the week.
yep. And so please come join us here again next Thursday night. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend.